Nice.
Yeah, dude. There's also this interesting video that I don't know if you've seen it on social media, but depending on how the show goes, I think a Samoan young lady talking about how New Zealand Samoans need to be humbled.
Oh yeah.
Have you
That's
seen
been
that?
going. I've heard of. I haven't watched the full thing, but Sarah has mentioned that to me, and apparently Sarah knows the girl that said that. So
That said that. Yeah,
yeah,
we might get to that.
yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting to talk about.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I saw it and then I saved it. I saved it into it's like, oh, this might be interesting to respond to or react to. And then, dude, all of a sudden, like all the social media people like responding to her and everybody giving their 2 cents, and so it's definitely got some. I think her podcast is called Breaking Waves or Making Waves or something.
Hey, she's definitely making waves.
That's what I was gonna say. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished with that one.
Funny.
So
it's funny.
Is it halftime yet with BYU?
No, it's about second quarter. Oh, Oklahoma State has taken the lead, so it's 21-14.
Oh, geez. They just scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Come on, defense. We need a couple defensive touchdowns or something.
Yeah. No, and the reason why BYU is actually losing it, they've already had 2 turnovers already. So.
Oh, geez. So the offense is not helping, huh?
No.
Fumbles or interceptions?
2 interceptions.
2 interceptions?
Yeah. One was by the running back. They tried to do a trick play, and the other one was quarterback, Retzlaff.
Retzlaff, the Jewish quarterback. Hey, Kingpin, Malo, welcome.
What's up?
Another live digital conversation here on the Polynesian Eyes podcast. Welcome, Kingpin. T-Style. Yes,
Tongan
early
style.
bird catches the worm. Very, very true. Malo kautama, kamata ke palo e kava, stretch a little bit. Foul. Get ready to put your tees up and play against the Kiwis. Tough game against the Kangaroos.
Hey, out of the New Zealand and Australian teams, I want Tonga to at least beat the Kiwi team, man.
Yeah.
We already lost to Australia. Beat the Kiwi team. But it's okay. It's an exhibition match, so it's just practice for the big one.
Ay, tauki kai po mon, eh? Can you remember, Masi, how many times as little kids growing up that was like the accusation to your friends?
Yeah. That was the topic all the time.
Yeah, tuko mo kai po, Ay, yawe. Osh kamata T-Style ya inu. Marie. Yeah, so I'm just looking here on the game cast. BYU's over here. Looks like they have this drive's pretty good. I'm just looking on ESPN on the game cast.
Yeah.
6 seconds though. So see if we can get maybe a field goal. Welcome everybody. Another interception. Hopefully at least time's over.
Yeah, time's over.
Shit. Need a big second half.
Yeah.
Big second half from the Cougars. All right. Well, now that it's halftime, let's get this rolling. Ready, Masi? All right.
Let's go.
Let's get this show on the road. Malo, Lele, Talofa, Bula, and whatever else under the sun. Welcome to another live digital kava session here on the Polynesian Eyes podcast. You have Tua Fale from South Central Texas and Mr. Aotearoa from Manurewa, New Zealand. What's up in the Southern Hemisphere, Masi?
It's It's really nice weather today. It's starting to get nice and warm on our side of the world here in New Zealand. So it's nice. Looking forward for the warmer weather for the next 3 4 months. So it's nice here. But I was thinking too when you were saying all those Polynesian language greetings. The popular thing they do here in New Zealand is Pacific warm greetings to everyone.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
right. Nothing sounds more woke and more PC than what you just said right there.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying when you were going, when you were saying the Maloiler Day, Talofa, Mula, right? And then they go think all these Namaste, and then they go Pacific warm greetings to everyone. That is so popular. That is so popular. Sometimes it's a little funny, but I just thought I'd say that.
You know what
But
that sounds like to me is when they say birthing person
yeah,
or childbearing
mm,
person. It's like, guys, just say woman.
yeah,
Just say woman. Like, why do we gotta like shit?
yeah. But I just thought I'll just share that. I just thought that was funny. I just thought that was funny.
You know what? With that being said, I know what we're going to open with. We put down some notes here. We're going to
Hmm.
jump straight into New Zealand politics. Now that we
Let's
kind of
go.
started
Let's
off
go.
with some New
Mm.
Zealand PC,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to I think Steven Setu may have been the one who's going to respond to this. That's an interesting character.
Mm.
Um
I've heard of him. He's kind of like a Polynesian Trump kind of thing, right?
yeah, kind of like yeah, he created a character that's kind of interesting.
Mm.
Actually, maybe before we go into the what's your guys prime minister right now? Luxon or something? What's his name?
Luxton, Christopher Luxton.
Yeah. So yeah, so there's a funny thing where he's trying to be all amongst the people, a common citizen.
Mm.
But before we go to that, I thought this was interesting. Um, because I'm pretty sure it's a Steven Setu reaction to that. But for those who aren't familiar, I don't know here in the US if a lot of people are familiar with him. I tried to reach out to him for our humble podcast, Masi,
Yeah.
to see if he was willing to jump on the Polynesianized podcast, but I guess he's also had some pretty bad accusations and some enemies attacking him. So I don't know if
Really?
he's like,
Okay.
yeah, I guess he's been accused of, how it is when you kind of come out as,
Yeah.
kind of on the edge,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, direct humor that some people like, oh my gosh, he's not being friendly. You know what I mean? Then all
Yeah.
of a sudden he mentions that people like Increase Fleas who makes
Mm.
multiple accounts for us. He talks
Correct.
about
Correct.
like there were people doing that to him, trying to cancel him. And there were
Mm.
even people saying, hey, just stop making your content. It's too
Correct.
controversial,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So I thought it was, hey, no, now that we're gonna watch that first video on him reacting to the prime minister's thing, let's just hear kind of his story and kind
Mm.
of what he shared on his background here.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Steven. Um, I'm going to talk to you guys without the fallback accent, without the persona, without the character, without the theatrics. I'm going to talk to you guys as
Mm.
the man behind the camera, Steven Setsu. And I just want to say, guys, I'm very grateful to have you guys see who I really am and really loving my content. 4 years ago, guys, I was probably or the one of the most hated Polynesians ever to exist. A lot of people used to say, switch up your.
Sully, that's pretty intense. If you're coming
Yeah.
out and I'm probably the most hated Polynesian. Steven, I don't know if you're being a little dramatic, but I can
Yeah.
see it, right? Because
Yeah.
I seen some of the accusations. I guess they try to label him as a pedophile. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's pretty low blow. So when he says he's like one of the most hated, it seems he's pretty legit. Oh yeah, way. Hi, welcome.
Malo, malo, mauhau, malo laban. I was just
Ma.
thinking too. I think most of the people with those accusations, I think they're the because I seen his content. I don't see them as that bad. I think because I don't know. It could be just maybe the Polynesian community from New Zealand and maybe Australia that's kind of really flaring him up. Because I don't know if it's a big deal with the Polynesians in the U.S. with his content. I don't know. That's what I'm just saying. It could
No,
be maybe all
I
over.
would agree. I mean, obviously, I think his biggest community is in New Zealand and
Yes.
Australia,
Yes.
but they're
Yeah.
heavily, how we're gonna say this, academic,
Yes.
politically
Very left.
correct, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Very like PC. And so when
Yeah.
he comes out with this persona that he's developed, it's
Mm,
like, if it's a little too close to reality and how normal people think,
mm-hmm.
academia and stuff has allergic reaction.
Correct. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know I think this is true. T Style, I think he was pretty critical of our cousin Em Tongi's voice.
Mm,
That
mm-hmm.
was one. I think he may even mention it here. And it looks like T Style's a little familiar with him. That's when he started breaking ground with the US audience, right? Was his
Okay.
reaction to that. So but yeah,
Okay.
so far he says I was the most hated Polynesian. Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that's pretty rough, eh?
Really
Shit,
rough, eh?
fuck off, Steven said to Kataki, Steven.
Your content, just switch it up. Stop doing this content. Stop doing this content. But for some strange reason, I knew in my heart that this is where I was supposed to be, that this is the content I'm supposed to do. And even with the countless of people dragging me online, the countless of accusations and allegations flying around, the countless fake profile pages trying to bring me down, people
Increase fleas, that's for you. I'm pretty sure increased fleas was also on Steven Setu's
Part of the
content.
mob. He was
Yeah,
part of the mob, eh?
yeah, the one person mob. So increased fleas, Haktua, we have like Hamo, all this other stuff. That's all increased fleas. Yeah,
Yeah.
Claymore, all of
Oh,
those.
eh.
Oh yeah, we. Malo, Viennese in the house, Water Bears.
Butterberries.
Si,
Malo.
Malo,
Malo.
welcome. Jussie Smollett, Maria, Juicy,
Give me
Katak. Yeah, we.
coming after me, all these things happening online. I kept a strong mindset and just kept doing my content, never switched, always calling people out, always speaking the truth. And it's only until like recently, about the last year or so, where people are jumping the ship now. They went from hating Stephen to now being a fan. One of the greatest compliments I ever receive is, Stephen, I used to hate you, but now I'm a big fan.
Wee, that's actually
Mm.
that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
can take someone who really hates you and then turn them around, that's impressive.
That is.
you know. And here's well, before we get too far from the comments, hey, Clyde Moore,
Hey,
Malo,
Clydemore.
welcome.
Malo.
Welcome, Malo and Lere. Welcome to the Kava session tonight. And yeah, this is actually pretty funny, right? Same guy who showed the Samoans stealing alcohol from the
Yeah.
grocery store and reacted and said they were Tongans. I mean, see, that's the kind of humor that like we
Yeah.
think is hilarious, right? We all know Kakau but we'll just say, oh,
Yes.
Kakau Tong. And it's
Yeah.
funny. Some
It
people
is
are like,
funny.
if we get some of our overly academic, politically correct Tongans, maybe they're a little offended by that. But that's just Polynesian humor,
Yeah.
man. That's
Yeah.
a little too common for the upper echelons of society, maybe. I don't know. All right. Any thoughts so far, Masio? You want to get back to Mr. Setu?
Um. No. I'm not surprised when I didn't see the feedback he gave regarding Ian Tongi, but I know that's been many other people's feedback that regarding his voice. But to me personally, it's more than just the voice. There's a certain way that you have to engage. People love the story, also where you've kind of come up from. So there's a lot of ways to entertain when you're singing. So that's kind of me. I don't think it's just the voice. The voice is a
Yeah,
big part, but
it's a part of it. Yeah,
part of it, the way just how you sing it, or even some of the music you do, because some of Ian Tongi's music he's done now has done really well, and that's his style, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes, and to me, that platform is to figure out what kind of style and what kind of music you can do and things you can test. So that's just me, but
Yeah. And to me, obviously it's a talent, and it's a talent show, right? But it's about how rare the talent you bring. The talent of singing is not necessarily rare,
mm,
right? There's a lot of people. We have friends and family who quote unquote are way more talented singing than certain people that are famous. The more unique talent is to give people an experience or to take them
mm,
on a journey. That is
there we
more
go.
unique. That is more
Yes.
rare. And I think that's, when you have a story in the background, that
Mm,
helps.
yes.
And I think that's what EM really brought to the table was he was able to take you on a journey of his life, his experience, and that's what people want, right? They
Yeah.
want authentic. This is the reason why podcasts have taken off, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
because people want to have an experience. They want to have something that's authentic. And that's a much, especially in the world we live in now, where marketing has become a science, where, manipulation and propaganda is
Yeah.
everywhere. People value authenticity at a
Yeah.
much higher level. And this is where Steven Setu is kind of getting to, right? Even with
Hmm.
his content, people were starting to pressure him to, just be politically correct. Steven, can you just say warm Polynesian greetings to everyone? Can you just please say that? Right? Like that's
Uh,
literally what everybody's asking him. And Mr. Setu is like, no, I'm gonna speak and greet people the way I want to speak and greet them.
mhm.
So so yeah, we got Tongan style here, even questioning Setu's voice himself.
Maria, Maria.
The T style. All right. Hey, let's come back to our cousin Steven here.
Let's go.
And I love seeing that. And it's great now whenever there's a situation that happens in the Polynesian culture, everybody's like, if you look at the comments, they were like, I want to hear Steven Sitzel's opinion. I want to see what Steven Sitzel says. So
Maria.
it's kind of great that I've sort of become like the arbiter of justice, you know what I mean? Like I've become the judge.
Chale, arbiter of justice. Next time we see Steven Setu, he might be on with a cape.
Oh,
Marie.
the cape and his ulafala necklace wearing it. Oh.
Iofao in that's like his
Mm,
saying, right? What
mm,
does that mean, Mashi? Like
uh,
Iofao, like he always closes with that.
yeah, fa. Just yeah, fa. Like see ya later. Like
Peace.
peace.
Okay.
Fa so fua.
Oh Yahweh, Nacho came early from Seven
Hey,
Eleven.
siempre Latino in the
Malo
house.
Nacho.
Oh, malo, malo, Nacho.
Malo. Welcome. No, 100% here, Clyde Moore. The warm Pacific greeting reeks of fakeness.
Hey,
Exactly.
Clymore, you don't know how many times I've been to since been living in New Zealand in Auckland, and it's like it's almost deafening. That's everyone uses it here. They say Maaloire de Talofa and like Pula Vinaka and Warm Pacific Greeting. That's like it's like a robot thing. It's automatic now these days.
Yahweh. Yeah,
Uh,
actually, this one was kind of funny that yeah, that Steven said he did have a beef with that one Tongan guy, I think in Australia. He
is it
he
that guy that eats
yeah, he always
the
goes,
food that yeah. Hey, that's
man.
good. That's good, man.
That's
That's
his
good.
signature move. They need to make that Tongan guy a wrestler character in the WWE. We should talk to Toko and say, "Hey, does New Japan Wrestling need a new character?" Yahweh. But yeah, it didn't last too long and probably good. Steven Setu is now, arbiter
Mm.
of justice. He doesn't have time to worry about meals in Australia. So, and Steven, see, Kautaman, I already asked Steven to join us, but I think Steven is already in like, upper class influencer in New Zealand. He's
Oh,
probably too busy to join us on the humble Polynesianized kalapu over here, like Nacho said. Oh yeah. Well, anything to add, Masho? We want to go back to the arbiter of justice here.
yeah. Let's give it to the arbiter of justice to continue.
Other Polynesian people in the way. Um, but guys, I just want to say, man, this is probably just like motivation for anyone out there. Keep doing you, and don't change your the way you are. Like if you have a certain content that you want to produce all the time, just do it. If you love doing it, do it, because eventually you will find your tribe. Eventually you will find the people that will love you and agree with you. So it's just crazy. The same people that used to hate on me on the Ian Dongi videos and all the other videos that I used to make back in the day are now loving me and constantly wanting to watch my lives and constantly to support my content, and that's great, man. That's why I said, guys, just keep going, because eventually you're gonna find your tribe. I see people jumping the hate ship now and jumping onto the fan ship, which is cool. I said, yeah, Sekai Ifa. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Steven.
Yeah, we're Maria.
Hello,
Any
Steven.
initial thoughts? Any initial thoughts, Mas?
Nah, I mean, I don't have any problems with Steven so far. He's just, his content is to give his opinion and analysis. Like it, maybe most of the time people don't like it, but that's like a lot of people's opinions. You like most of it, not probably all of it, and that's what my man is doing. So hey, good on him. Good on him.
Yeah.
Keep chugging along. That's kind of my
Stuck to his guns, eh?
yes. Feedback
Yeah,
on that.
except
How about you, Dua?
good. Real quick before I go into mine, Water Bears has a serious concern. He says,
What's up?
His plucked eyebrows tell me everything I need to know about him.
Or her, or them.
Or them. Hey, Water Bears, you need to give warm Polynesian greetings. Don't go there.
Remember, Waterbirds, he's here in New Zealand. That could have been the style here. He could have been the style here. I think he's from West Auckland. That's even a funnier place.
Yeah. Looks like some of the comments here, Clydemore is saying, I guess there's been some pretty invasive videos on Twitter on him and bringing some receipts.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Clydemore's backing Water Bear's claim there.
Okay.
I wasn't aware of such behavior. Are you guys saying he was at the P. Diddy party, guys? I mean, what kind of receipts are we talking about here?
Yeah, I've only seen like one video of an interview. I don't follow him much or anything, so I've only seen an interview he's done, and that's about it. And this is kind of my second time watching his.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know the guy too well.
So I didn't know that he's bringing in the relations into this, his partner. That's the other thing I noticed in New Zealand, Masi, is like even when they're married, it's not like my husband, my wife, or my spouse. It's my partner. It's like
My
a business.
partner.
It's a business partner where we're doing a joint venture. And so my business and my partner's business, joint ventures, and I guess they shouldn't call it a family. They should just call it a merger. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's like what the Tongans would always say is like lahipe nofokovi. That's what happens with lahipe nofokovi. You start saying partner, and then it's like, oh, I don't know if this is my wife or whatever. Maria Nushila.
Maria. All right. So now that we've introduced Steven Setu, we're going to see, I'm pretty sure this is a reaction video that he has to New Zealand politics. So we'll pull this up.
I'm sick and tired of the criminal lowlifes and the repeat violent offenders who put public safety at risk. And that's why we're going after them, and in particular gangs. If you are in a gang, be prepared to be harassed by the police.
Wait!
So I guess, is there like a gang problem in New Zealand, Masi? What is this? I mean, it's not like you guys have a southern border where we have like millions of people just sliding into New Zealand. Like, what's the deal here? Any background before we go to Mr. Setu?
they have like these I think some of these gangs that they're called like the Cobra, the
Cobra
Headhunters.
Kai.
Cobra,
Hey,
Cobra.
that's Karate Kid. That's the hey,
I'm
Mister
trying to think.
Lux.
I'm just trying to think. I know they have the mongrel mob here, but the thing
Yeah.
is, apparently these gangs apparently when they have like their get-togethers, they like take up the whole street and the freeway when they do stuff, and apparently it's been a common practice. And then now finally, I guess New Zealand is starting to have the guts to at least kind of not let them when they have their like somebody passes away or with their events not to be so controlling of the streets and stuff. So I think that's part of the crackdown. And plus, New Zealand is relatively, if you're a criminal and do a crime here, it's very lenient on some of their sentences. So they've done some changes to the judicial system to try to give more mandatory sentence for doing crime. So I think that's kind of where it's coming from that Christopher
Mm.
Luxon is trying to change. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, just kind of talking about it. You see, when I hear him talk, I can tell he's a beta,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Because an alpha would say, "We're coming after you,
Yeah.
right? We're going to harass you."
Yeah.
Only a beta would say, "We're gonna have the police harass you," meaning like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be part of this. I'm gonna send someone else, right? It's not.
Hmm.
It's I've noticed this type of like passive aggressive, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna yell at you and then I'm gonna send my friend to come fight for me, even though I'm the one causing the fight. But kind of interesting there. Here's
Mm.
looks like T Style was kind of going along with what you're saying, Musty, the biker
Biker
gangs.
gang. Yeah.
And then Clyde Moore here says, "You guys won't believe how bad it is. Auckland, you're talking about 2 million people squashed into a little piece of land."
Mm.
So, I mean, is it basically like turning into California, right? I mean, because that's pretty
Mm.
much California. You squished millions of people right on the coast.
Yeah.
Crime is getting out of control.
Hmm.
So interesting. We'll kind of walk through Mr. Setu's responses here. Some of it is kind of interesting. Some of it I'm like, oh yeah, well, Steven, please, are you really hurting me that way, man? Okay, being a South California native, growing up around gang culture, I see rappers, and gangsters in New Zealand. It's well, a lot
No.
of it
Water.
is
Yeah.
copycat, right? A lot of it
Yeah.
is copycat, but yeah, what were you gonna say, Mussy?
No, I was gonna say water bears too. Like some of the gang stuff here is like, it's starting to be, it's starting to get a little crazy and stuff. But like the perception of gangs here in New Zealand is still not what I'm like. It's not like they're gang leaders. If you have like gang leaders up to like 60, 50 years old and they're still out of prison, still having good lives, like that's not a I wouldn't say you're a real gang then, because a lot of the gangs I know, especially in the US, when you don't if you get older, you're most likely behind bars or you end up dead. You don't live up to 60 to 70 years old. So it's kind of like it's not a it's they say it's a gang to Zealand standards, but yeah, it's not that crazy. But for New Zealand and stuff, it's crazy for them. And plus, things can unravel pretty quickly if, let's just say, if you allow them take over all the lanes in the freeway when they're whatever they're doing, and they
Yeah.
do feel like they run everything. So yeah.
Yeah, and that I've seen that happen sometimes here in the US,
Mm,
especially in liberal cities, right?
yeah.
Like in
Yeah.
Philadelphia and the bigger cities. So a couple more comments here. Looks like Clyde Moore says he's in the Bay Area, but he thinks it's like even worse in New Zealand, just the cramming of the population and the
Mm,
people. Sounds like
it is.
Auckland is pretty
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
overpopulated. Let's see here. They don't have guns in the gangs in New Zealand. That's a fair point. And actually, I'm going to pull up this video right here. So this video is in Texas, and we just had some cousins visiting over here in Texas, right? And one of our cousins like, "You're just gonna leave there?" It was a truck, had its window
Hmm.
rolled down, right? and they're like, oh man, is it like that safe here? It's like, well, it's kind of safe here. It's just beware that you could get in here. Don't be surprised if somebody comes out with a gun and shoots you for trying to rob their truck, right?
Yeah.
Because this is Texas. I mean, Texas, there's a lot of
Yeah, you
people
don't play.
carrying guns.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the difference with the you wouldn't see a bunch of gangs taking up all the freeway lanes in Texas because somebody can say get off my lane before we kind of
Yeah,
get down and rumble, right? And then in
yeah,
liberal cities where you kind of make it difficult for people to defend, you allow more power to the gangs. That's why you
yeah. I
see
mean,
that behavior.
just think of this much. Remember when the BLM riots were going all over the place, and then
Mm,
there was talk like the BLM riots were going to come to the Alamo in downtown San Antonio. A bunch of the
yeah.
citizens went out there with their rifles and stuff and stood around the Alamo and said, yeah, if you guys come here to riot here, we're gonna
Mm,
shoot you. And no
mm,
riots, nothing to
yeah.
destroy. But here's a video in Texas, and it's titled "Don't Bring a Machete to a Gunfight in Texas."
Mhm.
So this is the video right here.
Situación así.
So this guy brings a machete to the other car. It's like, what?
Mm, yeah. Don't do that, sir.
Yeah. And you can see the guy with the gun is pretty calm, right? He just gets
Yeah,
out. It's
that's
like,
pretty
hey,
calm. Yeah,
get back in your car. Get back
yeah.
in your car. Don't bring your machete over here, right?
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
bring your machete, the bullet's a lot faster than your machete. And the guy walks back, he gets back in his car. Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's Texas. That's Texas for you.
yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Mas?
No, no. That was a pretty long machete, but that's but I think it's good to know that there's a reason why you have to bear arms, and that's what is it number 2, Tua, in
Yeah,
the
Second
Constitution?
Amendment. Yeah.
Second, what's the first one? What freedom of
Freedom
what's the
of
first?
religion, I think.
Freedom of religion is number 1. So number 2,
Yeah.
to me, obviously the forefathers of the U.S. is like this is a big important deal to make sure it says in its arm, not only for your protection but also um, for your ability to express your other rights of freedom. So
Yeah.
nah, hey, all props to Texas on how they do things. Just make sure that's important. Don't rely on the police to solve all your issues because they can be 14 minutes late. That's the time response that a police will get to your place, and even their whole response, they're very precautionary, you know, in the way you're approached. So
Yeah.
it's scary,
Yeah,
man.
I was telling my cousin, here in Texas, there was a case where um someone was robbing his neighbor, and the
Mm,
neighbor came out with his gun and shot the people robbing his neighbor, and people were saying, oh, everybody
yeah,
outside of
trying to get
Texas,
him.
oh,
Yeah.
that guy should go to jail, it's not even his house. Went to court, and Texas said, no, he's fine.
Hey,
He's
it sounds
fine.
right.
Let
Yep.
him do his thing. You want to find out, mess around, and you'll find out.
Mm, mm.
All right. So we're gonna get into the arbiter of justice. Steven Sito in his response to Uncle Lux here.
Okay.
Christopher Action, are you saying that every single gang member is a criminal lowlife? Are you saying every single gang member is a repeat offender? Is this what you were saying? You then go on to say that if you're in a gang, be prepared to be harassed by the police. It's giving Moikolo. It's giving. It sounds like the beginning of a porno movie. Let's get down to business.
What's Moikolo? What is that?
Moicolo, I don't know, but it could be more like a sleeping phone call or like, yeah, it's like it could be a sleeping colo can mean like a call in Samoanization of
Okay.
call. Uh,
Is that one of
boy,
those like inappropriate phone calls where you're
probably,
calling basically
yeah,
with the
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Mm,
Christopher Luxon, I've been around. which means I know a few things.
So-
I don't just sit on the high table and don't see everything for what it is. So let me bring you from here to down here.
Hey, humble
Because
him.
respectfully, Prime Minister, sometimes I think you're not all there in the brain. You're not all there in the mentality. I know you're a very rich man, Christopher Luxon. And I know you're living in your mansion and you're getting $500,000 a year. So I understand you probably don't understand what it's like to be, an average Kiwi. Like, for example, when you say that you spend $60 a week on
Do you
groceries.
spend a week on food?
I'm personally shopping every Sunday down in Wellington, probably about $60.
What about you, Christopher?
Well, I live by myself.
A lot more than $60.
I live by myself.
I'm just wondering.
Sounds like see, this is one of those things we were talking about, Masi.
Mm,
You could tell he was lying, right?
mm.
Like, how much do you spend? He's like, when I go shopping and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I was like, that's him buying time to come up with, like, man, Mash, what would a normal, like Steven said, I
Yeah.
agree here. How can I appear to be normal? Because I have
Yeah.
no idea, right? I have no idea what I'm shopping for, right? Because he's probably just like, oh, it's $60. That sounds fair. I don't know. But $60, it sounds like, dude,
That's tiny.
what
for
can
New
you get
Zealand.
with that?
Yeah, that's tiny for like New Zealand, $60 because we all know how expensive food prices is. There's already videos going viral on like $15 cheese and
That's what I was gonna say. Like I saw a block of cheese, right? Looks like
24.
like a maybe a 4-pound
yeah, that's a
block of
kilo
cheese.
or like
Yeah.
a kilo.
Yeah, and that person was like, it was like $20.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I guess Steven said was gonna get to it. I guess even the grocery store he went to is like the Whole Foods version. It's not even like, what is it? What do you guys call it? The yellow one, the
Pack and save.
Pack and Save. I was gonna say something else, but I was like, yes, Pack and Save, because there's another one in Vegas when I was on my mission, Food for Less. That's what, when I saw Pack and Save in New Zealand, it had
Yeah.
kind of like the same color and the same setup,
Eh,
kind of a yellow. It's like, yeah, this kind of looks like Food for Less.
no,
So-
but too, I was gonna say that. See, and that's the difference between Donald Trump and like Christopher Luxon. These are both wealthy guys. Obviously, Trump is much wealthier, but Trump, he's very direct and he doesn't give you any false kind of vibes if he's doing
Pretense,
what.
yeah.
Pretense. Because yeah, and that's the difference, and that's why people are just crazy. Like, man, how is this guy billionaire just more relatable to the middle class? And Christopher Luxon, he does not give those vibes, and he's not. He's just trying. That's
Like
what
I
you call
said,
fake
he's
news, man.
He's a beta. He's a beta,
Beta.
pretending to be an alpha. He's a beta. He's a guy who doesn't know what it's like to be an average Joe, trying to pretend to be an average Joe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like Steven Setu's gonna chop him a little bit about his $60. $60. I go shopping in Wellington, my $60.
Wondering where groceries cost $60 because $60 to me is one KFC family feast, and that's not even to my family. That's to myself. Christopher, you know how I definitely knew you were out of touch with what it was like to be an average Kiwi? Is when you said that you do your grocery shopping at New World.
Said that you spend $60 a week on groceries. Could you just walk me through what it is that you buy that you're able to spend such a little amount of money on that?
Yeah, so the question I was asked is how much do I spend at the supermarket in Wellington, go shopping at the New World, as you probably we're close to Parliament. I buy breakfast and lunch items, but most of the time I buy my lunch, as I'm on.
Are you kidding me? Everybody here knows New World is the most expensive supermarket.
That's true. That's what I was
We
gonna
all know-
say. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Usually there's a hierarchy. Pack and Save is the cheaper one, and then there's the Woolworths or Countdown. That's like the middle, and then the New World. That's the most expensive, and my man goes there for $60. That's so funny.
That's the Richie. That's the Richies, right? That's where the rich people go to shop because they know they don't have to see the dirty middle class, right?
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, wait, we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about seeing the average Joe. Hey, Masi, looking here, looks like we're in the red zone. In the red zone here, BYU. In the
Yes,
BYU
sir.
game, second and goal. Hopefully, we get a touchdown there.
Yep, they just did 21 up. So go Cougars, man.
Oh,
BYU.
Maria, the Lord's school, the Lord's school. All right.
Know that. Whenever I walk into a new world, I look at my bank account and I say, "Oh my God, I don't belong in this world." But let's get back to the gang subject, shall we? You do understand, Christopher Luxon, that gangs were created because of government oppression. Look at any origin story of any gang.
Okay. Now he's
ahead, go
losing
ahead.
me, right? Like I agree with all. It's like gangs were created because of government oppression. Okay. So let's think about this. You're telling me that if we removed government, that gangs wouldn't exist? Gangs exist to obtain power. Gangs are a form of government, right? Gangs have rules. They have expectations of their members. So I think he was kind of riding this a little bit too far. He and I kind of split a little bit here. But hey, rightfully so. He has his own opinion. But I don't know. Once he said, "Don't you know?" I was like, I don't know what history books Mr. Tetu is referencing here, but I don't know. I wasn't on board when he said gangs were started because of government oppression.
Yeah, maybe. Because to me, my definition of gangs is not. They're always involved in criminal activity. So to me, it's important to make sure that gangs can. There's hardly, maybe when you're involved, even with the gangs, it's usually not a good thing because of associations in America, you can definitely go and get in trouble.
Yeah.
Be part. So that really affects your life. So that's why I was like, gangs is really not a good thing, and I kind of disagree with Setu on that. Kind of same thing with you, Tua, because usually you're not considered a gang if you are creating a group you're more called what do you call it? More of a political movement or some kind of political group, but it's not like a gang. Gang is more associated of more
Criminal
anarchy.
activity.
Yes, criminal activity. So unless like I said, maybe the Kiwis have a different definition of gangs, and like I said, hey, the Kiwis are the one that brought up with, they say, Pacific people and Maoris. So they have these
Some
definitions.
of these,
I'm
yes, I get you.
right.
I get you.
So
Yeah.
so the gang definition must be different in New Zealand. That's
You
what
know,
happens when you're on this side of the world in by Antarctica. But that's what I'm trying to say, because gang is only involved with certain groups who feel like, let's just say, usually the gangs are created for people who have dysfunctional families or breakdown of families. They find camaraderie and support within other people within their age. And in
yeah,
order to support that group, you're not getting normal jobs or going to school. You're creating criminal activity to fund your behavior. But
exactly.
but yeah,
It's it's like here's the funny part, right? When we think of, to resist government oppression, we think of Second Amendment,
mm,
we think of a constitution, right? We
yes,
think of
yeah,
a division of powers and so forth. Our brother said to here is to resist government oppression, gangs. I was like, "Son,
yeah,
that is okay.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like you said, I never understood that when I would see a Maori person,
yeah,
right? And it's like, and Pacifica people, and
yeah.
it's like, Chanda, you're a you're a
Pacifica.
Pacific Island. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that could be their definition of how they view gangs in New
mm,
Zealand. Like, gang is not a criminal thing. It can be something for good. I was like, oh, maybe this is maybe a different how they do things in New Zealand is their education system here in New Zealand. Yeah.
oh Yahweh Maria. He starts to
Mighty.
be a sympathizer here, but let's see his sympathies for this for the culture. Hey, here's a. Oh, Yahweh.
and really dive into it, and you would understand that gangs were formulated because they were judged, they were outcasted, they were pushed, they were suppressed, they were oppressed by the government. So if gangs were created by oppression, why would you want to oppress them even more? If gangs were created because of a broken system, then why would you want to break them down even more? That's not going to change them. That's only going to have them uproar. That's only going to have more violence and more crime because you're.
You know what this reminds me of? When the CNN reporter was standing in front of fire, right? And
This is during the
goes,
Black
the Black Lives Matter. This is a mostly peaceful demonstration here. That's like Steven said to here is like, hey, there's gangs. It started because of oppression, and if you impose the law, you're just going to create more gangs, right? Because this is oppression. I don't know. Sounds to me like he may be promoting anarchy, right? Or maybe he's like, maybe he wants the Mad Max from Australia to be applied in New Zealand. You know, maybe he needs I don't know. Kind of interesting, but it looks like he has some, looks like people will vote for him. Steven Setu for prime minister.
I'm telling you, that's his followers all from West Auckland. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I like the tag name though. Yeah, he's gonna vote. He's gonna get a vote from.
Say alofa.
Yeah,
You're trying to treat them like animals. And if you treat animals like animals, they will behave like animals. I know Christopher.
So if you treat animals like animals, they'll behave like animals. But they're animals.
I think one time we do need to discuss. What's that country? Honduras. That president. He's like, how that country Honduras. I think it's Honduras or Ecuador.
El Salvador. El Salvador used to be the most dangerous. Yeah.
Because of the gang, right? That's what I'm like. See, that's a real gang. When you have people who can't sell their products because the gang's gonna come and take their stuff and tell them to pay, and they lose their livelihood. But this new president came in, he treats these are gangs like treated like animals, put in, and then now that America is opening their borders to anybody, looks like Trump is saying he's actually releasing some of those guys who are done with their sentence and they're going across the borders and committing criminal activities in the U.S. But that's a real gang that I think Setu's not familiar with. That's the gangs they're animals. Like,
yeah,
I can maybe he can. They need to differentiate that some people who are just part of the gang because they want to go with it. That's the people that they're not really gang members. They're just doing it because they're friends in it, but they're just experiencing or whatever.
What he's thinking of, in my opinion, Masi, is he thinking about just boys hanging out in the neighborhood. They're just hanging out, Sio Kakai, watching people hang out. When you look at, MS-13, right? You look at those Venezuelan gangs that are taking over apartment complexes
in Colorado.
In Colorado, these are not people you want in your neighborhood, right? These are not people like he's saying, oh, go and give them a hug. They just need to be loved. As you're hugging them, Setu, they'll be pumping you full of lead, right? These are the type of people like, like Danny said when he was in Maryland, it's like they'll kill you over $5.
Yeah.
Right. This is it's just a whole different. I think this comes down to is this maybe a proper understanding of what a gang is. Like, what he's thinking of what a gang is not what MS-13 and all these other gangs are.
Yes. No, let's just say I'm thinking what's the most ruthless gang here in New Zealand? Mongrel Mob.
That's the one you hear the most.
Yeah. Like if you get those ones that are actually going into the US and like a lot of these governments actually deporting them to go to the US and stuff like MS-13 and all of them, they're gonna make the Mongrel Mob look silly. Like it's not a funny thing. It's not a funny thing. Like it's not even a funny thing to even say like, man, these gangs, when you get them, it's like, no, like they get caught in their own country, like especially with this president, they're treated like animals because it's kind of like a very demonic behavior the way they live
dude.
anyway. Like that's and I think see and that's what happens when you're in the
uh,
bottom of the world close to Antarctica. You're a little bit out of touch with the definition
That's
of
how blessed you
gang.
are, right?
Blessed you are, yeah.
You're pretty blessed if that's your version. Because when I was building some power lines in South Texas and even some solar and stuff, we would have
Mm,
people kind of go back to the Mexican border for the weekends and come back. Some of them lived in Mexico. Masi, the one time one of my general foremen, he went and we never heard from him for like 2 weeks,
that's it.
right? When homeboy came back, he showed me videos. Takoe, the cartels, which is big gangs, right?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
gangs with a lot of money. The
yes.
cartels were in a battle with the police,
Mm,
the Mexican police. Masi, 16 wheelers like semi trucks on fire on the freeway.
mm,
He's showing videos from his town. You know how like when you see a
yeah,
war scene with like the bullets
mm,
flying,
yeah,
and he's
eh,
like, dude, and he was telling me that the police were losing because these cartels have so much money, they basically have an army, and in
yeah.
many times better equipped than the police
Police, because they get their most probably all their weapons like from these
from
guys
the
that have
US
connections
side.
from the U.S. or even probably got because some other military guns like I think Israel's also known for some good they who like when you got
Weapons,
money,
yeah,
yeah, when you got money, man, especially those cartels, they're in charge, especially regionally, they in charge.
yeah, not 100%. Some of these guys are putting up some interesting accusations. Oh my God,
Mhm.
Yahweh. Only on the weekends, Clydemore. Only on the weekends.
Hey, Clymore, it's only when Tua has to visit the border, but talking tila. Hey, maybe no more jobs by the border, Tua.
No more,
No
no
more jobs
more.
by the border. It's too tempting. Nah.
Kahakwa Wara Bears, your gangs were started because past curses and poverty, because their
Mm.
ancestors didn't repent
Repent
from their
their faulty.
faulty ways. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's Vaini wisdom. Vaini
I did
wisdom
water
right there.
bears.
Yahweh. No, I believe in this one. I think, you know what we need? We need to have Steven Setu and Uncle Luxon have some kava. I believe with more.
Yeah,
Mo, welcome, welcome.
yeah.
Totono Peke, have some kava. Relax.
Yes.
Calm yourself,
Yes,
boys.
because both of them have good points. I think
Yeah.
Setu is off the with the gang, but we know Luxon, we know you're not buying your own food. You're probably
Yeah.
doing something else, but you're not buying your food for $60 in New Zealand.
Yes. I would say Setu has some good points. I haven't seen a
Yeah,
good point from Luxon.
uh, mm.
Yahweh.
He's definitely a beta for sure. He can't he,
100%.
he doesn't have a spine to stand on something for sure.
Yep. Yep. At least Setu's holding some line.
Yeah.
You're probably drinking your red wine and sitting over a platter of crackers and cheese and, eating the finest caviar. But let me just bring you to the reality of New Zealand. Do you understand that there are people that find solace within a gang? There are people
Whee!
that find a home within a gang. There are people that find family within a gang. There are people that find peace within a gang. But then again, you think it was okay to get on a camera and to say that the police are going to harass.
Masi, can you? I know he put a very positive spin on the
Yeah.
gang, solace, a home, but what else can you find with gangs?
You can find death in the before you die. You can find frequent visits to the prison, and then three, you can find yourself narcotics that will keep you in fairyland forever. So yeah, I mean, it's funny how, of course, you're gonna get people who find a home in the gang because one, it's gonna help them with other people to help achieve a bigger crime. Usually,
Yes.
you're in a gang to achieve bigger crime. It's hard to do a crime if you're the Lone Ranger or something. People, and if you
Yeah.
come from an unstable home, instability, no one's at home, and let's just say you find home with somebody else that you can, you want money, you can, instead of stealing $100 from by yourself, maybe you can steal a 5,000 uh uh material from something else with a group of guys. So yeah,
Yeah.
my man, yeah,
Well,
that's my thing with the gangs. I mean,
I'm starting to think that maybe Setu is part of a real gang because everything he mentioned is what a gang lures in youth that are at
mm,
risk, right? Oh, I'm gonna be your friend. I'll
yeah,
take care of you, right?
yeah,
I'll do all these things. I was like, oh yeah, Setu, sounds like you're a recruiter. You seem to know all the things that one would bring in, and I'm not picking on him. We're just having fun. I know
yeah,
Setu would understand what we're just joking around, but at the same time, like, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be promoting gangs, is what
yeah.
I'm getting to. So
Well, Tua, the one thing I did see was an interview with another Samoan lady, that Breaking Wave we kind of talked about earlier. He did an interview with them. He
yeah.
did mention his background. He is, he is grown up. I'm not surprised if he affiliated maybe with some gangs. He grew up with a single mom. Dad was never in his life, kind of thing. So that's why I think he understands why the gang, maybe it's a little emotional attachment with him, because he the gangs love people with broken families, or families who
Mhm.
are not on solid foundation, because that's what you attract somebody to find a
Yes,
home.
take
You
advantage
find
of them.
you find other male figures who probably you look up to. So a lot of young boys like to join gangs because they have other males that they never had present in their home. So that's, I just thought I would just share that because I heard that interview, and that's why I'm not surprised that
That's
he
why
kind
he's
of
kind of taking that defensive position
yes,
on
yes.
the gangs. Okay, okay. That kind of explains it a little bit more.
Mm.
Okay.
Gang members. Even saying the word harass, that's a fighting word. That is
Oui.
a disgusting word. To be harassed by anyone is disgusting. And the fact that you are up here as the world leader of New Zealand, the Prime Minister of New Zealand,
The world leader of New Zealand. I'm trying to understand that one.
Well, New Zealand has the best milk and butter and stuff. I think that's what he's trying to,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
'cause we
I
all,
will say yes,
because
dairy products are pretty top notch.
we're world, right? And the meat and stuff, more only having cows and sheep eat green grass all year round. Not many countries can say they can do that. But
Hmm.
world leader, because we all know what happened with the New Zealand ship that sunk just hitting a reef, right? You can't be a world leader, right? That's what I think I
Hey,
post something.
wasn't there something special about that captain?
Yeah,
Was that
apparently
DEI
the
hire?
DI was a woman that was leading. Apparently, it was a woman that was part of the LGBT alphabet mafia group. Apparently, she promoted because her lifestyle, and she was a gender of being a woman. And then next thing you know, a brand new ship, 123 million, hit a reef in Samoa and sunk the ship. So I think, yeah, because that's, I think you can't be a world leader through that, but through the dairy, I think that's what Setu means, to be
See,
the leader
that
in the
that
world
was
in
that was
dairy.
a gang. That was a gang that was driving that ship. They don't. She was just looking for love and a home and comfort. Like, we can't blame her.
Oh yeah,
See, some of these guys are giving us some fair warning here. It's like, oh yeah, where Billy is saying he's gonna come after us, Masi.
boy.
Sorry, yeah, Billy. We tried to ask him to join us. He didn't want to join, but I don't know. Yeah, well, how about this one here? Mauhau says Fukovi pe reef yahamo.
I think the reef was just created just right there. It's not been there for thousands of years. So,
No, it's because the reef changed its gender. The reef, it used to be ocean, right? It used to
uh,
be ocean, and then the ocean identified as reef.
yeah, no, and that's the funny thing, Tua. Even up to now, they're still trying to investigate, and I think they don't want to embarrass themselves to tell the truth. They're still investigating on the causes of what sunk the ship. That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Because when they
Uh,
went out there, the reef changed its identity into something else.
a reef moved from one spot to another spot all of a sudden.
So now that we're talking about, you know, this stuff here, that we're gonna shift to another video. I think we'll leave cousin Setu here
Yeah,
for
wow.
now. But here's one is actually kind of a sad one, and it's about Tonga's airline, Lulutai, and this family's experience with it. So we'll jump on this one for now.
We're trying to go to Vavau again.
We're trying again. Let's see what happens.
Okay, we called our awesome taxi driver Letty from yesterday. She took us first to this really delicious Vietnamese food place that had all these cakes and all these.
Dude, Tonga's cuisine has really improved, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Chinese, some of their pizza. I think Little Italy has really upped their game too. It's still there for many years. Yeah, Tonga has some real good food. And then when you have local infused food,
ingredients that are fresh.
Yeah.
So Vietnamese, I was like, what's all this? You know, when we were growing up, malo, a little keke. You know, if you had a keke and like a sub sandwich, that was like exotic.
That's
you know,
yeah. What the submarine, hey?
Yeah,
the submarine they do
that was
dog.
like the
That
big thing. Was it what's the name of that place? It used to be by the video store there in Maufanga. Was it like Yummy Treats or something?
Yeah.
That was like big deal.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still there, but
yeah. So and if you notice what she said again, meaning multiple times they're trying to get to Vavau. And this family sounds like a world traveling family, so seems like they've seen a lot of different places. So yeah, let's see here.
Different dishes over rice, which were spectacular.
We picked up Vietnamese food, and we are now in transit. We're going to try to get to the airport 3 hours early, and maybe that's good luck.
We passed by the hospital, which was really interesting. I had considered coming here to work on a mission. Our driver had an errand on the way to the airport. She was so nice. She had to come find, I think, her cousin to help jump his car.
She has to bring something to this person.
Typical trip, right? Get as many things done at one time.
Yeah.
Here we are, filled with hope that we are going to the airport again, and here we are at the arrival and departure terminal. The kids are unloading their luggage. Fun fact, it's Fafine and Tangata here instead of Wahine and Tane.
I wonder what it was on the New Zealand ship, Masi. Do you think it was Wahine and Tangata, or was it something else?
No, they put it no names because anyone can go inside. You don't put that's what you do. That's what you do. You don't put a name or a category because that's even offensive too, right?
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh Yahweh.
What is going to happen?
We don't know.
Here's my husband going into the little Lulutai office.
Lulutai.
Every time we get here, they ask Ben to go into the office. They don't tell anyone else to go in the office. We don't know. We think that's bad. It might be.
No, they bring him in so that the prime minister can interview him and do his DNA test. You know, make sure just your normal standard security checks. You know, like they're saying, like every time they go there, they only invite the husband. Like, what are they doing over there? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
That's incompetency, man. I'm telling you.
Maybe didn't they? One of our Fijian bossos was commenting on some of our social media. You know, saying how could the Tuitonga be an empire when they couldn't find bullets at the Fuamotu airport, but they found bullets in Fiji. I don't know how that equates to a Tuipulotu empire and a Tuitonga empire, but maybe that's what the Lulutai people are like. Oh yeah, well, we gotta double check this foreigner, make sure he's not trafficking, weapons of mass destruction. I don't know. A lot of this stuff would just seem bizarre, right? Like, what is going on there? I have no idea. But let's see here.
We might be going back to the hotel again. We don't know. We'll see.
Okay, here's the Vietnamese food we got. We got this curry over rice. It was so good. And this pasty, it was like pork and boiled egg. I highly recommend this place. Here is the plane arriving. We think this is good news. They are loading our luggage. So we have hope here. You also have to be weighed on this scale before you get on the flight. And spoiler alert, things did not go well. Okay.
So the plane lands. They pack all the luggage.
They got sidestepped. That's what happened. They got sidestepped for other people to go on the plane, and that's what happens when they. What I think this is during the time they only had one plane that was in operation for flying to Lava'u and flying to Ha'apai and probably all these other places because yeah,
Oh,
because of the issues
jeez.
they were going. But that's Fagaofa, man. That's
Yeah.
Fagaofa.
Well, and this is the kind of thing like that's interesting is like how in the world it's like, you know, maybe this is the reason why the king is telling the government to get out of the private sector. Right? Like we have these quote unquote educated leaders, if you want to call that, right?
Yeah.
Educated at the top universities, and yet they don't understand that governments never run efficient services.
Mm.
Right? It just doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, we're end of the third. BYU's up by 7.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, and Tua, I was just gonna say that the guy that's running the business of Lulutai, he's probably incompetent because obviously he's made the situation even worse. Usually, when you run a business, you have plan B, plan C in place just in case. But obviously, he's been running on plan A. Then issues happen, and then like you just make do with what you got. That's so maulalo or such a low thinking to go about business. But you go about that because one, you're the government. How does government run? They don't foresee and are proactive in what to predict in the future because that's how government usually works. And
Yeah.
the guy who is the CEO of Lulutai is a guy was the deputy prime minister so a close friend of the prime minister, so we probably that's how he kind of
That
got
sounds
the
like the
job.
most competent person. Like if you know the PM, obviously you're the most competent person.
Yeah, he
I
probably
don't know what world you're in, Mussy, but
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's a no-brainer.
it's a no brainer. He went to school and maybe got his master's, but his working experience has only been in Nuku'alofa and Suva. Eh? What
Or according to our brother Steven Setu, maybe he was just oppressed.
oppressed
He was just
maybe.
oppressed, and
Oh,
maybe the customers that fly on the plane are harassing him. And he's like, I can't take harassment from these foreigners who need to fly to Vava'u. Why are they maybe that's the reason why they weren't able to make the flight. They're like, why are you harassing me?
mm,
Why are
mm,
you showing up to the airport and
mm,
saying I need to fly somewhere? I don't know.
mm.
That's maybe that's it. I don't know.
Right, but that's sad, man. That's sad that
Well,
paying customers come and experience that.
and this is exactly where this story is going to go, right? Look
Hmm.
at what they say now that they've had this experience. Listen to what they say.
Coming to you from
Yeah, I feel that
What?
Tongans in New Zealand.
Look at that. The Tongan video wants
we're
to.
trying to go to Vavau again.
They just automatically switch. There we go.
We have traveled all over the world and they canceled our has been so spectacular to us.
Let me try and
Things did
find.
not go well.
Okay.
Okay. Coming to you from the Little Italy Hotel, which has been so spectacular to us. They have kept our room for us.
Little Italy, private owned
Yep.
business. Vietnamese restaurant, private
Private owned.
held business. And what marks does she give them? And she's a world traveler.
Very good.
Flying colors.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So let's keep track of that.
despite what we thought, we were on the tarmac about to board yesterday, and they canceled our flight again and didn't really explain why. They said it was an operations issue, but we have given up.
You got
Be-
sidestepped, ma'am. Ma'am, you got sidestepped for somebody to go and do an audit for somewhere in Wabau or Hapai or who knows, but you got sidestepped.
yeah.
Because that doesn't make sense when a plane literally just flies in perfectly, unloads, and then you say you can't fly. It's up for somebody else, but so sad.
Ma'am, do you not know that the CEO of Lulutai knows the prime minister and that he cannot be harassed? If you show up with your money to pay to get on a plane, don't you know that that's harassment? Don't you know that? Like, he wants to go to Vava'u and you're buying the seat that he's going to sit on. Come on, man. Come on.
Not everyone can have a slice of pizza, man. You just have to wait. Maria,
We have traveled all over the world to India, Italy, Thailand, Singapore, the Middle East. We have never had a travel experience like this. People of Tonga are beautiful. The country is
That's pretty bad.
that is
They've
pretty
gone
bad.
all over the world, and this is the worst experience they've ever had.
No, and that's the funny thing, right? And she has enjoyed her time because the people are
Yeah.
enjoying it. But there's always a few apples that when you just just get to certain positions, and for some reason, because they went to school and sit in the AC class and and pass some exams and then come back, get a few jobs here and there in Tonga or somewhere in the Pacific, and then they get to head some businesses, man. And this is the outcome. They should be fired. Like that's just crazy. That's just crazy. Like, but hey, apparently he's still no one. To my understanding, up to now, no one's been fired. It's been running as normal.
Yeah.
It's sad. No
Yeah.
accountability, and that happens to any part in any part of the world or in business, any country. Like, there's no accountability. No one. It's just you just do whatever you want.
Yeah. I'm sure that the internal ratings from the government says Lulutai is doing a great job. Right? I'm
Ew.
pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you do an internal poll, every employee at Lulutai is like, "Yeah, we're great. We're top notch, man."
Hey,
It's like
we're number one.
Air New Zealand better watch out.
We're number one because we're the only one.
Yeah, yeah. Like someone I once knew who said, you know, we are the price setter.
Yeah.
There's no competition with the price setter, and this is the kind of service that you get.
No, that was a good
Hey.
advice
gorgeous.
this Pua Tonga gave to because see, and this is another thing. As long as Tonga tries to improve its services, that we have more competition, so that when Lulutai doesn't do well, hopefully maybe
There's
Fiji
another
Airways.
option.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fiji Airways is already flying to Vava'u from Fiji, so hopefully next time she can hopefully get to Vava'u. It's probably gonna cost more money. She's probably not gonna have another opportunity, but fly from Fiji to Vava'u if Lulutai can't get you there,
yeah.
or
That's
or
pretty
hopefully
sad, right? Got to go to
or hope
another country to go
yeah
to another part of Tonga.
yeah. Well, hopefully elections next year in Tonga will correct it. If not, then there's gonna be no improvement, ma'am. So hopefully next year with the new elections can we can get some more competent people. But yeah, sorry for it for the moment.
Yeah,
The food is delicious, but this airline, Lulu Thai, has really just destroyed our entire impression.
Hmm.
And I think it's just really sad for the tourism industry of Tonga that this is the national airline, I guess. I'm not sure why
yeah. We're
this
not sure what it
happened,
is,
if
ma'am.
it is secondary to things like corruption, just poor management. And we don't blame any of the workers. I think they're
It's because they're oppressing the gangs.
No, Tua,
They
see,
need
that's so funny. Even Namuri, who hasn't been in Tonga for a week or so, even knows there's corruption in Lulutai already happening, and it's not the workers because obviously it's the head guys, whoever put the head guy in there. Oh, shit. That's
This is
pretty
not
crazy.
rocket science, you know?
It's pretty crazy how Moody can come and figure it out, and us Tongans over here who follow Tonga and stuff say we can't figure it out. And these guys, we let these guys just keep doing. But shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Mga opa.
Da- no wonder why the king keeps coming out and saying,
Say, don't touch the private business. Leave them alone. And then,
Firi whakapoto-poto, Firi
Iyo.
kakayo ulerei. Come
and here's
on.
the well, since we're on this topic, and this is the thing that's so funny, because you know how Dupo the Six have asked to bring back the Ministry of Defense to him, and also foreign policy, but
Mhm.
apparently they haven't appointed anyone yet. So the current man that the king has actually tried to strip it from, he's still running to today, because they haven't. I don't know if he's allowed to figure it out, but apparently he's the de facto, and he's been doing it. And
See?
see, and this is the funny thing is like, dude, who fight him on it down there? But I just thought I'll just share that. That's
No,
the kind of
that's
thinking
yeah.
that's happening with the Lulutai. You put somebody there, you're supposed to make, because it gives an impression of foreigners who want to come back and tell other people to come invest in Tonga. Then you get somebody who's incompetent that can't run the operation properly of just bringing planes and taking people, and you hurt the country's credibility. So for Alpha,
Yeah.
it's the same kind of mentality, and
Yeah.
this is what I just read an article just about that he's actually the de facto because they haven't got somebody, because he still wants to run all of that. My man has 8 portfolios, and my man is running them efficiently. Maria,
My man,
Oxford University
my
master.
man is Jerry Jones. My man is Jerry Jones of the
Owner,
Cowboys.
vice president, and operation manager, team
Yeah.
manager. Oh wow.
Toy Venya, we're gonna see next year. My man is the quarterback. He's gonna replace Dak.
Yeah. But you know what the difference is? You know the difference? Usay pa Jerry Jones kasi going to paanga pa iya, ana.
Yeah,
But-
that's true. That's fair. That's fair. Eh?
Wait,
Koy paanga
he-
ba yan, Jerry.
Jerry.
Eh?
Were you playing around other people and foreign aids money? Oh, you fight any happy ko. Fight any happy ko. Mari, ngere iya.
Ay,
Mari, ikaw no po ngere iya.
You know, when we were in Tonga, the nickname for Ngereia was Nigeria, and with the corruption, Mauton Nube.
Tonube. Mario.
Anyways, all right. you can't make this stuff up, man. Oh Yahweh. Let's get into some boxing. Let's see here. I don't know that Opetaya.
He's still.
guy.
I saw something that he won again. I think he's still undefeated, huh?
Yep. Undefeated, and he looked pretty sharp too. So let's pull this
Jack,
up.
congratulations. 2 great performances against Maurice Breedis, but this looked like a near flawless one tonight against Jack Massey. How did you feel about the way you fought?
I felt good. You know, I knew Jack was going to come to fight. Nothing but respect to him and his family. Safe travels home. I just want to say a massive thank you to my whole team. Man, we've had to jump through some hurdles to get to this ring, you know. Mark, Tup, Kaz, Nick, Fran, so many ups and downs, you know, but we stayed staunch, we stayed together, and we got the win. So this victory is for all of us.
Sounds like it was a tough training camp. What were some of the hurdles you had to deal with?
Oh, man, you know, just the ins and outs of boxing, you know, just pushing ourselves to the trenches mentally and physically. You know, I'm away from my daughter for the first time, so I miss her. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know, at about a month's time, right here in Riyadh, 2 of those cruiserweights belts are going to be on the right line. Gilberto Ramirez against Chris Smith. Is that the fight, the winner of that fight, the guy that you want next?
I'm hoping that comes, man. Benny Boy just whispered in my ear, you know, I was going to get the winner, so we'll see what happens. But Turkey El Sheikh, thank you so much, Your Excellency, for putting these events on. Thank you for making me a part of him. And whoever he tells me to beat, that's who I got to beat.
Maria.
Thank you very much.
Definitely a fighter's mentality, man.
Dude,
Yeah, he,
and I really loved an interview where, someone was kind of telling him like, oh, now you've made it. Like, are you gonna go and buy something? And he's like, dude, I got a family to feed, right?
mm,
When I gotta go, I gotta work, I'm not just doing this for me. I don't got time to go buy watches and cars. It's like I got a family. I'm here, I was really impressed. I mean, the guy seems to be
he's a dog, what they call him, man.
yes.
He looks like he's a dog, man.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, right here, right? Tui Halafatai switch, man. This guy pretty much had a flawless victory here. And really exciting to see, right? Because he's even talking about going up to heavyweight at some
That's what
point.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say he's giving me vibes of what's that Usyk guy? Because you know how
Yeah.
Usyk just dominated the cruiserweight. If
Yeah.
my man dominates the cruiserweight, I mean, what else are you supposed to do? You've done your time, and if he beats this guy that I guess some of his promoters are trying to put him up against, I'm like, hey, that
Yeah.
doesn't hurt to go to the heavyweight, get some kind of challenge that kind of keeps your motor just kind of go for a little bit, and probably bigger paycheck in the heavyweight division. So hey, good on
Exactly.
Opetaya.
Yeah. No, and that's something that I thought was really interesting. Was that, and he's, Usyk was making some comments. He might come back down.
Oh,
And, yeah, and he's like, hey, dude, if he wants to come down, let's do it. So that
Yeah.
would be an awesome fight. And what'd be cool is they fight at cruiser and then they both fight at heavy too.
Heavyweight,
Right?
yeah.
We want big fights for him, makes big money. Agreed here, man. I think this guy's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah.
This Opetaya guy. So that was kind of an interesting story there. So hopefully he continues to be successful. I wanted to get your thoughts on this one, Masi. I don't know if I know that Samoa changed their location on the dateline, right?
Yeah.
So that they could be on the same day as New Zealand, primarily for trading.
Yeah. New Zealand, Australia. Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't know, is this accurate or is this one of those fake news? But watch this. Samoa is the first country to celebrate the New Year thanks to its position closest to the west of the international dateline.
No, because I thought
Did
Tonga,
they go closer than Tonga, or what happened there?
No, because Tonga has always been the same. They do their time changes all the time. So Tonga has always been the same because Tonga doesn't have daylight savings or anything. So even when they switch the days, Tonga has always been the first one to greet the new year, the sun, the new day. That's always been Tonga's position.
Yeah, that's what I was thought.
Location.
Oh,
So,
maybe this is just Tatu Imanua's first New Year. Maybe
Hey,
this
could
is
be.
this is the Tui Manua Empire when they moved the dateline, the Tui Manua, since it started first. I don't know. I just thought I'd get your feedback because that was news to me, right?
Yeah, that is new. Somebody's just sharing what they think is correct, but is incorrect.
Okay, this must be one of the Ufi pits.
The Ufi Umu pits.
The Ufi Umu pits. Yahweh. Let's see here. Let's go down to our friend that is super popular right now, right here.
Okay.
Let's react to our sister here.
I feel that the Samoans in New Zealand need to be humbled, because majorly humbled when it comes to their culture. They're too entitled. Not all, a lot. They're too entitled about what they should be gifted from culture and how they can express themselves culturally in other spaces, or they're having the need that I'm Samoan enough because of my blood. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, you are Samoan based on, yes, you are Samoan, but I could piss off and do whatever I want by myself. But what truly makes you Samoan is how you serve your family and how you serve your village. So if you're not doing any of those things, but you're operating in spaces like climate change and
Okay, before she really
Mm.
goes to climate change or anything else, what's kind of your thoughts so far on what she's
Mm.
saying?
If I had to choose on somebody, because I've had this discussion with my wife. You have to choose somebody that was gonna go, you know, in order to be like Samoan or Tongan. It's either it's either by blood or the way you behave, because people say language or how you know the culture and stuff. To me, it's always gonna be the blood. That's to me. It's always gonna be blood because you got blood running through your veins from your ancestors from the beginning. And to me, that's going to take more presidents than just the way you act, because that's something that you can learn. And the thing is, when you serve within your family and village, it's not the same thing. People can have, maybe the village did something to their family that maybe they didn't agree with, or the family, we all know we have family dynamics that maybe doesn't function well, and that can be a little different, and people have different, like, to me, that's very you can separate that. Everyone is different. It's almost
Mhm.
like it's almost like, am I a Tongan the same how another Tongan on how we approach things? No, but we're still Tongan because it's just the blood. But on how we do a katoanga for or a birthday celebration, it's gonna be probably different. You're right. There's certain things we'll probably do the same, but doing it and accomplish at the end is gonna be, we'll get there to the end, but it's gonna be different. You know what I mean, Tua?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. So that's where I'm coming from, just regarding
No,
that.
and that's a fair point because I guarantee you, 2 generations ago, what it meant to be Tongan is not necessarily the same what it means to be Tongan now,
Yeah.
right? So in theory, how you behave is subject. It's subjective because it
Mm,
changes and it
yes.
evolves. But
Yes.
what's the one constant? I understand what you're saying. Like some people say, like it's a behavior, right? And that's
Hmm.
true. But when you go to a more fundamental aspect of it, nothing's more fundamental than genetics, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is why you can't get around male versus female. Like there is a genetic
Yeah.
component. Now, are there certain behaviors that are more masculine versus feminine? Yeah,
Mm,
obviously, right? And you could be XY or
mm,
XX and be a little bit more masculine or feminine on the spectrum there, but there comes a point when push comes to shove, the genetics are the final factor,
mm.
right? And this may be, I think I saw a very wise man, John Hopoate, or he's known for his philosophies. But what he
Wasn't he?
said,
He was at the game yesterday at the MMT
yes,
game because his son
yes,
Lehigh
yeah.
was playing. Yeah.
But he brought up a good point. Like one of the things that he always brought up was the end of the day, family, blood, right? Genetics,
Hmm.
that tie, that bond is the strongest bond that you have. That's
Hmm.
the fundamental building block. So, at some point you have to be connected in a physical sense, and you can also have a spiritual or social connection, but even then you can't get around the reality of a physical connection. Um,
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
that's kind of my thoughts there. And but there it is also very important how you behave, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
at the same time, if we're trying to say what is the lowest common denominator,
Yes.
there's a
Yeah.
reason why a parent has a special connection to a child or to a sibling, right? Or because there is more than just how we behave, even though
Yeah.
that's one layer, but
Yes.
the fundamental layer is a genetic connection that drives that.
Yes. No. No. And I agree. I just say, if I had to choose, the genetic, the blood that runs through your veins takes more, it's more, takes more precedence than the, whatever the behavior. That's important too, on how you behave, because obviously that's a also an explanation of how you kind of grew up. But if I had to pick, it's your genetics, right? So.
Yeah, and it really just comes down to, I guess, to another way to look at it is if you are not committed to maintain your fundamental responsibility to your family, which is that's another way of saying genetics is family, right? If you aren't willing and able to withhold that responsibility, highly unlikely that you will hold a responsibility or a relation that has no type of genetic foundation to it, right? This is to kind of just leverage off of our brother Setu. This is what the gangs promise you, right? The gangs say, forget about your genetic relation, your family. I will give you a home. I will give you these things, right?
I'll give you the money. You just have to
Exactly.
help me get the money.
Exactly. You just have to go and beat up a couple people and run from the cops for a little bit and maybe escape and don't go to jail for 30 years. But there's a fundamental problem for that is the gang will ask you for loyalties that you couldn't even keep with your family. And that's the fundamental problem. Whenever it's not that it's impossible, but that's a high risk, right? When someone is trying to pull you away from your family and what makes you you, in many ways, it's difficult. But she starts to go into, I can't remember the second part, but she gets into, like, I don't know, climate change. I don't know. Interesting, right? Once I hear that, I'm like, okay. But any other kind of thoughts or comments, Masi, before we let her continue?
No. I'm good so far, Tua, unless you have anything.
Nope. Let's see what the sister here has for us.
And taking up like board positions, and you're not doing the basic of serving your own family in your village. That's not right to me. And I think too many Samoan-born New Zealanders do that. And they take up all these spaces. I'm probably going to go a bit further here. No offense to Afakasi, but mostly Afakasi people in like high positions that make decisions. They can get into those rooms because they know how to code switch, go in and out. But they don't represent the people who truly need that help. And I think it's a big problem. And it's not, I'm not saying to take them away, but it's to help bring others up with them as they move up. So I feel like, New Zealand Samoans is pretty important.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I kind of understand what she's saying, but it also who really represents who, right? She's saying like, oh, if you're Afekasi, then you take up these roles, then you're not really representing. So exactly,
you're switching sides. Apparently, you're not really representing the Pacific. But
like who then at that point, who actually this is the problem with like, oh, by how you behave, that's what drives you. It's like, no, man, it's like they have their family. And if that's what's gonna, you take care of your family, your immediate family. And if you're not taking care of your immediate family, then how can you take care of the ones that you represent? The ones you represent is yourself and your family. That's the starting point, right?
Yeah.
Then if you can do that, then you reach out a little further and help. But I don't know. I mean, some of the ideas I can understand what she's trying to say, but I also just feel like it's just a little cluttered, the idea. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Just to add on to that, like we say Hafkasi, because like I've been to Samoa with the occupation of bringing Chinese in and occupying, with being occupied by the British and Germans. A lot of Samoans within their own families are already mixed with, already mixed that way. So I'm like, are you questioning their allegiance or something? When you're talking about 2-3 generations of like Chinese mix and German and then British, so that's it's a bit like what you said. It's a little bit cluttered with that, but I do see her ideas and stuff. But I think at the same time, people are gonna take care of what their immediate family and then go to their kainga and then it's gonna work that way. And if it doesn't reach to the whole village, then it doesn't reach to the whole village. But
Exactly.
they'll participate in a way if it's some village functions or whatever, they'll do it that way. But not, I mean, it always works from within and then goes depending on the capacity of that person and influence.
And that's the thing is, it almost feels like, just say you're unhappy with certain people who got to certain positions, right?
That's what I'm
That's
gonna
not-
say. It could be her own certain people because we all know, the argument to generalize it is very difficult, but it could be certain people maybe that she knows of. But yeah, that's a good point, Tua.
As they say, this sounds like a personal problem, not a Samoan problem. Maybe a Hafekasi from her village won the beauty contest and she says she doesn't represent me. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe she's just breaking waves. I don't know. That's what we'll do. It looks like there's one more minute here. We'll give her the courtesy of finishing the thought.
And I feel like the best way to be humbled is to either go home, like send them back home, or have like, I don't know, someone do like a course or something where they can learn.
Oh my goodness. You know what?
That's the worst way.
Exactly. That's when you know
you're gonna get it because this is the thing, right? If you grow up in a Tongan family that's a farmer, you're gonna be different than a Tongan that's been going to school in the academic on how they behave. So if you're doing the course, you're always gonna get the behavior of what a Samoan scholar would think.
Exactly.
In their view. And their view is very it's very westernized in Palangi, which is opposite than the Polynesian. So yeah, just be mindful of, some of the Polynesians who try to take up these cultural classes and stuff. I think the ones by the church are much better than a school sponsored cultural language class. But yeah,
see, and that's the thing.
That's my 2 cents.
No, and that's the thing. Like how like this is what I said. It's like cluttering all over the place. Is like, to be humbled, you need to go back home to. Obviously, she's speaking about like Samoa, right? Or take a course. It's like, Charlotte, how many Samoans back in Samoa can afford to take a course? And how do you think? Right? Like this is why it comes back to, like we were, in my opinion, what we were mentioning earlier. Take care of your immediate responsibilities to your family. That'll humble you. I don't know about you, but keeping your responsibility to your family, that's tough. That'll humble you if you're really trying to do that. You don't have to go take a course to be to see that.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say, like, and then if you come from a relatively small family, just like when you talk about close family, dude, when you even just experience the kainga and the wider family, that's like what you said. If you're not doing that, that you're not doing it properly, because there's always something you can do to help and be a person to assist the family obligation. Because like I said, man, then you're not doing it right, because that will humble you many times.
Not 100%. Oh yeah, with Tongan Style here has some good comments. Seen a lot of people in the comments agreeing. When I used to try to talk to my elders, conversations, they would say, meaning she want others to practice a universal understanding, but she has not taken the value. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair, for me, that seems to be a relatively fair thing, right?
Yeah.
When we start being too concerned what other people do and behave, maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign that we're not being humble.
Yeah.
That's like the first sign of humility, is you're not overly concerned with other people's behavior, because you're like, I got my own responsibilities. I got my own challenges that we need to face. Clyde Moore here says, this is how 30 years down the line, neck minute, pull a melee mounts. Address your issues with people. Yahweh. See, if they went and took a course, what's her name? I don't know her name.
I don't know.
If you went and took a course on the Tu'imanua residents, they would have told you that the pile of rocks were loyal ancestors. So even when you take the course, like you were saying, Masi, the course is one perspective of an academic and not necessarily representative of reality.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll, we're gonna upset our second cousin from Ha'amoa. First, Steven Setu is gonna attack us. Now, breaking waves is gonna attack us next. Let's let me see here. The one I wanted to go to next was there was a gentleman. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do some football for now, since a comment by Colin Cowherd talking about the SEC and what Texas and larger economies, the impact on the SEC, right? Obviously now Texas is having a huge impact, right? Beat Georgia, and he's just talking about SEC doesn't realize.
Wait, they're playing Georgia this week, right? Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an interesting take. Let's just kind of run through this real quick.
Yeah.
Sarkisian in Austin beat
a BYU grad, right? Quarterback. Steve Sarkisian.
Yes.
We gotta take the wins when we can. Right?
He's a head coach leading the top program, #1 nation program right now.
Yep.
Georgia this weekend after beating Alabama last year. There is a new sheriff in town in the SEC. Eye test, game test. Texas looks bigger and stronger and faster than Bama and Georgia. With 2 quarterbacks, the SEC is overwhelmingly small towns and small economies where the local car dealer is a big deal. Texas is different. Here are companies headquartered in Austin: Tesla, IBM, Dell, Oracle, Whole Foods. You don't get a lot of Ferraris in Starksville, Mississippi. It is a totally different economy. And the SEC and the local car dealer in Tuscaloosa cannot compete. It's the new SEC. I would be surprised if they didn't beat Georgia. I watched them push Alabama around. I think they'll do the same this weekend. Steve Sarkisian.
Any thoughts on that, Mussy?
They definitely will have the economic backing, but the only thing I would say is you need the right leadership. And I feel like Steve Sarkisian has actually steered them to the right position of how to use that economic power to create a powerful team. But like I said, not everyone in that position will be able to do it, because Texas has been trying for so many years until Steve Sarkisian has gotten there. So I think it's a bit too early. They haven't won a championship yet. They've made it to the playoffs, and they lost in the playoffs, right? Because they lost to Washington Huskies last year. So they haven't made it to the championship game yet. So to me, it's a bit early, but I like the explanation of the economy because, of course, Longhorns already a very rich school in an area of very high, and I feel like Texas overall is still gonna keep growing with the amount of companies who's probably gonna still move there. So, hey, I see the argument, but I'm not ready to dub the Longhorns just yet, because you can have all the amount of money, but not the execution part. So it looks like as long as Steve Sarkisian is not, drunk anywhere, or he's
hey, we just said he's a BYU guy.
Hey, we all
It's
BYU.
okay. We can all repent. We can all repent.
We can get off the track a little bit as long as he's good and he's willing to keep. Because right now he's definitely reaching the peak. Then it's gonna be hard to make them remove them from #1. But yeah, I'm not ready to dub them right now until they.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah. How about you?
No, I agree. I mean, if it was just about economy, then we should be rocking it with Joe Biden, right? Obviously, leadership matters, right? I think. I mean, you just look at just look at at BYU. Kalani's leadership matters, right? We don't quote unquote at Provo, even though you're starting to see a lot of money flow into Utah, but it's still not at quite the level as Texas. I mean, look at that. Texas is going to have its own Wall Street here. It's already launched, so there's a ton of money coming in there, but that's not everything, right? And leadership matters, recruiting matters, and I think that's what Sarkisian's brought to the table: recruiting, leadership, and he's come a long way. Like you said, he used to have a little bit of a drinking problem. I've seen some interviews of him talking about how he's observed guys like Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, and and one thing he noticed was once they were coaching once they understood who they were and what they were about, and they coached to that rather than worrying about what others think and others' perception, that's when Pete Carroll and a lot of these guys started to be successful. And I think that's what I'm getting from that is he's kind of jumped around a little bit, had some success.
Yes.
This is like his first real, looks like could potentially, like you said, if things go well, maybe a dynasty, right? If he's able to maintain it. I agree with you. I don't know if he's quite there yet. So yeah, sounds like Ikani here is he's betting high on BYU, and yeah, maybe, right? Getting some consistency there could go a long way. Looks like BYU, man. Mussy, what's going on, man? 3-point lead, 2 minutes.
Yep.
Looks
Oklahoma
like
State still
they're
has the
almost in
ball.
field goal range. They're all on the 35. Defense hopefully will hold. So shoot, it's a little too close for comfort because I would love to go 7-0. Oh, and which, by the way, Mussy did call it. I think in our last discussion, Mussy, you were saying they might be 7-0 by now.
Yep. Well,
right?
final overall, and maybe that's a good time to revisit you, me, and Lee, because I think at the end I had them 10-2, so look like I'm the genius.
Yahweh! Oh Yahweh, guys, we need to go back. I think Mussy listened too long to Samoans Need to Be Humbled video. Now he's Mussy. Did you take a course? Did you take a course that made you a genius?
I just listened to a bunch of BYU podcasts during the spring and fall camp, and I just said, "Oh, I feel like this one's gonna be special if they can get some certain positions right." So, looks like I'm pretty much there. Pretty much there.
Look like the viewers are in alignment over here. Hey, oh Yahweh, everybody is voting Mussy. You're gonna be like Steven Setu. We're gonna vote Mussy for PM of New Zealand. Him and Luxon will go to the what's the name of the grocery store? Something World.
New World, the most expensive one in New Zealand.
You know, Luxon's gonna spend $60 and Mussy's gonna buy the same things and only spend 20 because he's a genius.
Hey, shall we talk about what's your thoughts with the game that happened last night with the Matema'a Tonga and Australia? What's your analysis from that game?
I haven't watched the whole game. I watched the highlights. Obviously disappointed. We always want to win, right? We have these games. We want to win. I think we have the talent. I was already a little bit concerned from the beginning because one of our Achilles heels is the fact that these guys aren't able to spend a lot of time together. And I think being cohesive and being able to anticipate each other's tendencies and a game plan can go a long way. I think at halftime it was 6-0. Right. And it was only one try off of a interception. So what does that tell me? Defense must have been pretty good. Right. Defense must have held pretty good. And remember, this is the number 1 team in the world. Right. So to be able to really hold the number 1 team in the world to one try off of an intercept breakaway means they couldn't generate offense to score all the way through. I thought that was a positive. The fact that we got the donut means, dang it, either they played fantastic defense or we couldn't generate offense. I think was there a try that was called back? Because he knocked it on instead of
grounding.
So, but still, I mean, overall, I still took it as a positive, even though I still think, man, should have been a win. Right. When I look at it and I was like, man, the win was within our grasps and just fell short. Oh, Yahweh. Touchdown, a minute and 13 left.
Now, I think I'm with you. Yeah, because to me, this is the reason why they had these games is to prepare for the World Cup, all the international teams. So at least Tonga is just knowing who they have now, because this is most likely the team that will be in the World Cup that'll be coming on. So it's a good practice round. I don't have any too fuss that Tonga lost the game, but this is just good practice to me. Hopefully, because apparently Christian Wolf is gonna step down after this game. I wish he stepped down earlier because we can have a new coach to know, can, the more time the new coach will have, the better likelihood that we can have a better team for the World Cup. But yeah, because I know he's even said that he's gonna step down after this, but who knows,
Yeah.
maybe he'll not. But yeah, that's my only thing. I think Mate Matonga is ready for a new coach, and if this is the team we're gonna have, I feel like this will be an opportunity to attract some high caliber coaches to really get us over the fence and be at least be the conversation to win a championship. That should be the expectation with this
Yeah.
team. I think, like what you said, Tua, maybe some little development and experience with the halves and the kicking. That's relatively new for Tonga, Matema Tonga. So hopefully things will get better and improving. But yeah, that's just kind of my feedback on that.
Yeah, it looks like the guys want to get into some politics here in the U.S. Maybe we'll get into it
Okay.
on that. But going along some of the commentary that we were having, there's an interesting thread. I couldn't help myself to comment. Some people on some of the video on the highlights. Here's an interesting comment. Where is it?
From the game, the Matema Tonga game, the
Matema
MMT
Tonga
game.
game. Yeah. And here's one that I responded to some comments like this. There are just as many Pacific Islanders playing as Australians. Tongans just aren't that good and aren't as athletic as you make them out to be. Right? Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm not even sharing. My bad. My
No,
bad.
oh no, sorry. I thought you were just gonna read it, but yeah.
Here. So here's the comment. So this is coming out of a thread here just talking about Tonga relied so much on toughness and aggressiveness, no game plan, and that's why it simply cost their game. So my initial response to this was right here's my comment. You do realize they just met up a couple days before the game, right? Many of them, the first time they played together, and thus the game plan and chemistry were poor, right? Like everybody's kind of initial reaction was, geez, Tonga was just like relying on their forwards and things. Is like, well, when you don't have the cohesiveness, that's you're gonna have to play simplistic way of playing, and you're gonna have to rely on that. So. And so that was kind of interesting. And then, I also responded to this other person where I said, they were saying basically it had something to do with they're saying that, right here, that's a demographic thing. You can expect to see abundance of high game IQ emerging from a talent pool of just a couple 100,000 people. So basically, he's saying that the Tongans can't produce the IQ to play, right?
Yeah.
And so, I had to respond to that. I was like, individually, they have high IQ, but this is about a team cohesiveness. They meet up a few days before the game, and many have never played, right?
Yeah.
And
no, and that's to me, it's not really because I think I brought it up with you, Tua, right? Because they had the same amount of time when they constructed their team and practiced the Australian team and the Tonga team. But the Australian team, most of those guys have actually played together in the state of origin. So they've kind of been prepared in that way, and they kind of understand the player's tendency. The Tonga and the Matema Tonga, this is kind of their first time playing together. And to me, I feel like the coaching could have been better for that time, so they can maybe emphasize and focus more on their strength. a little bit more, and some of the repeated mistakes. There's a lot of repeat mistakes, but hopefully that will be ironed out. But yeah,
Yeah.
to me, it's when you gotta share your talent to understand how the other your teammates' tendencies that you haven't played for a while. That's difficult. It's not an
Yeah.
IQ thing.
No, and that's the thing. I just thought it was kind of silly. I was like, who are these people, man? It's like maybe they need to go take a course, like our Samoan sister said. They need to go back home and take a course, you know. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was just like, oh yeah, way some of the Monday morning quarterback, which I guess I'm doing as well.
But you know that's good to because this is the kind of standard like these critiquing and people paying attention. Hey, that's what we want. You
Yes.
notice when we play these big games, these are the critique and the attention we're gonna have more often. So overall, we're on the right track. We're on the right track.
Yeah.
We're not
And
playing
that's the
Mickey
thing.
Mouse.
Yeah, I
Mickey
think
Mouse games.
overall it was a positive turnout, right? Not the ideal, but
Yeah.
Masi, where are we, man?
No, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say. So, are you still a fan to still keep Christian Wolf? Just if you just had to go by
Um,
coaching,
I was,
or
yeah, I was
okay,
willing to give him one more World Cup. I think,
okay.
right? That's just me. But I'm not against. I'm just worried, like we get a Lulu Tai situation here, where all of a sudden we go from Christian
you're
Wolf
you're trying to
and
say let's wait till after the election of next year, and then we can then we get a new coach. Okay, I see.
yeah,
I
I don't want the deputy prime minister gets released and then becomes the Tonga coach.
Monigo, I think Moni beo lau tua.
You
Tautari
know.
beo no ko pe ya Christian Wolf o sayang e fai firi firi e tau pure anga.
Oh yeah, wait, Masi, are they in field
Ow.
goal range?
No, touchdown. I just put my hands up. BYU scored
What?
10 seconds left.
No way.
I'm telling you.
Masi,
every
hey,
week
guys,
I'm being a
guys,
genius, man.
Masi is a genius, apparently.
Hey,
Wow.
you know when you win, you just take all the credit because you don't know when you're gonna be right the next time. So that's my philosophy.
Wow. Dude, we're gonna have to hopefully, I mean, we still got some time here. Hopefully they put the highlights up soon. So but yeah, I mean, this is crazy, man. Wow. Dude. We were picked to be the bottom of the Big 12, basically.
Yes, sir. Yep.
This is why you don't listen to the experts. They were wrong about COVID. They were wrong about, mostly peaceful riots. They were wrong about gangs. Not just kidding. Setu is not a expert.
Hey, but at least I think you and I both agree. At least he's Setu can stand on some solid foundation.
He's more alpha than Luxon.
He can
right?
at least if he says something, he's gonna stick with it, and that's what you want.
Exactly.
Gonna at least stick with it, not bend whenever it feels convenient for you.
Yeah, I can respect that, right? Like, I can respect someone who says I believe something and they act. Man, I just can't believe we won. It's stuck in my head. I was kind of feeling a little bummed. I was like, dang it.
They're for real, Tua. Danny,
man.
our older brother Daniel, he said he's not gonna believe in BYU until they're 8-0. So I'm like,
Danny's one game away from believing.
Yeah, I was like, I went full on. I was like, dude, if they get 6-0, I think I've already seen enough. This could be a special season.
So Masi is not only an expert, but he has a lot of faith. He doesn't need to see 8. Hey, Masi, I only need to see 6. I only need to see 6.
6, it's for a special season, and it's panning out that way.
You know what? I know the next video we're gonna go to.
Didn't some of our viewers said what some U.S. politics or something?
Yes, let's get into that. I mean, kind of. I guess there was an interview between
Is it Bear and Kamala?
No, they wanted to talk about Elon Musk and Tucker.
Oh, I didn't know. I have no idea. I didn't watch that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it here. In the meantime, I do have another video of Elon Musk, and
Hey,
he is
Elon is full on. Like
dude.
I seen him in some of the rallies. He's full on.
He's on the MAGA train.
Yep, he's put 75 million to help people who canvass to kind of pay them to kind of watch the vote. So like my shit, this is the kind of people we need just whatever rig or whatever, we just need everyone, all eyeballs, and it helps when you get another billionaire like Elon Musk to just join the fight, man.
Not 100%. I'm trying to. Where did I didn't. Maybe I need to go to my other Twitter account, guys. I'm not trying to say I'm increased fleas that I have multiple Twitter accounts. Okay, guys. I just want.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
Let me see here. Let me.
1 second. 1 second left before the game's over.
Please, no Hail Marys. Nothing crazy. Or Masi's not gonna be a genius anymore.
Genius. I will be. What's opposite from a genius? A retard. Yeah. But yeah, no, I've seen a difference with man. It's so good to have Elon Musk part of the Trump train. So good.
Can you guys imagine if Elon didn't buy Twitter?
It's full on assassination on Trump. The assassination would have been fake. Everything on social media, like Facebook, would have probably still banned Trump and still filtered, because they still somewhat filter the news on their platform. So,
Before, and I'm not aware of the details on the video with Tucker, and looks like Kani's confirmed. It's 7-0.
Yes,
Time's
sir.
over.
Malo Kani.
Malo. I think this is another video I did find on Elon, and I think this is an important one for, as we're talking about Elon. And this guy gives the week that Elon had last week. Is it last week? No, maybe it was this week. Sorry, man. I've been traveling a lot. My weeks are like all jumbled together. But listen to this real quick.
I barely talk about Elon Musk on this channel, but I need to outline for you just how many things he got done over the course of the last week across all of his companies. And then I want to leave you with a question, because it's a question I'm asking myself. So here's what he got done. He launched humanoid robots. Now, yes, they're not for delivery.
Have you seen those videos, Masi?
No,
I'll pull up amazing, and we can look at some of the videos. They're interacting, talking with people. They can identify whether it's a credit card or an ID, story, all kinds of interesting things. But yeah, so he shared that.
For a year and a half, that they might be teleoperated. There's things you can carp at. But he launched them. They went out and walked around and served drinks. Then he launched a self-driving car. Yes, it was on the Warner lot. Yes, he's not launching it until 2026. There are things you can carp at, but he launched it. Same with the van. And that alone, with Tesla, would have been a fairly big week. But we weren't done yet. He literally took inspiration from a science fiction film, built something called Mechazilla to catch a gigantic rocket flying out of space, and did it on the first try.
Have you seen that, Masi?
No, I haven't.
Dude, amazing. We'll find some video. Literally the largest flying object shoots into space, detaches, comes back down, lands vertically, and gets caught by a mechanical arm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he's talking about everything he did in 1 week.
It's like this is a 400-foot tall skyscraper, and this gigantic crane caught it. You can see the video all over the internet, and I highly recommend you do so. That would have already been a history-making week, but we're not done. He launched the world's largest supercomputing cluster with a company formerly known as Twitter. 100,000 GPUs of H100s from NVIDIA. And he did it in, you want to guess? Guess the days. Yeah. He turned on the whole thing from empty factory in 19 days. Now, it took him longer to build the factory, right? So again, there are things you can carp at, but 19 days is insane. So this is my takeaway. My takeaway is not, this is turning into an Elon channel, because it won't. My takeaway is this person is betting the farm on multiple companies at once. He's taking an enormous amount of risk right now. So he's pivoting X into an AI company. He's pivoting Tesla into a robotics company from a car company. He's turning things that we thought were physically impossible into reality with SpaceX. If he is this risk on, am I too risk averse? It's a question I'm asking. It's not that I have the resources to go and turn on a supercomputing cluster in 19 days, but I am wondering, where am I more risk averse than I should be? And are there things I need to be more risk on about? So that's the question I have for you, because these are non-trivial risks. I'm not going to pretend they're all going to work out. Maybe the self-driving car won't ever make it to market. Maybe the robot won't ever work. Maybe this was the first and only catch for Mechazilla. Maybe, you can go on and on. Maybe, or maybe not. And if someone is willing to be that risk on right now, it's an interesting challenge to my mode of thinking, and I'm trying to use it as a tool to help me understand myself better, and see whether I'm too risk averse. So what are your thoughts? Are you too risk averse?
Any thoughts on that, Mussy?
Risk averse. That's a good thing. I think that's what makes entrepreneurs special. They're willing to risk it, and that's why America tends to attract a lot of those people who are thinking that way, because obviously Elon Musk grew up in South Africa, but he always had a dream to go to America, because America seems to be the place. If you're willing to risk in your business ideals, you're willing to reap the rewards of your doing. So, hey, he's already done it before with Tesla and stuff, and X with the spaceship. He's a billionaire. If he and I won't take it away from him, but he's most likely, if I had to bet my money on Elon Musk, I would. If all of these hit, he's gonna be the number one richest
It's going
guy
to be
for
a
a very,
trillionaire.
very long time. And you know what the good thing is? He's on our side. And he's a normal guy. He's not a billionaire that's like, dude, what are these guys doing with their time?
He's
They're doing some
not like
wacko stuff.
Luxon and all
Yeah.
these other guys. Bill
Just
Gates,
yeah,
right?
just a bunch of betas. But that's my thing. I think that's what makes America so special. I think just from its DNA, innovation from its beginning, and then even up to this 21st century, it still has that view of people from other countries. They just want to do their ideas in America. For some reason, America is still
Yeah.
the place that, if you're entrepreneurship from whatever country you're in, you're just attracted to America, because that's what Elon Musk always thought America, and that's why he went to I think he was in Canada. He could have stayed in Canada, but he said, America is the place I wanted
Yeah.
to be.
He
So
probably ran into Trudeau and said, "Hell no." He
but no,
probably ran
that's my
into Fidel Castro's son, Trudeau. Have you seen those videos and pictures?
yes.
Dude,
The
he
pictures,
looks
I mean,
just like him. I'm like, oh
no,
yeah.
and then when you hear the background story of his mother
Mom meeting him.
spending time in Cuba too, like, dude.
Yeah. His mother took a course in Cuba and came back with Trudeau.
And running Canada.
Running
man.
Canada.
That's crazy. No, but yeah, that's my thoughts there. I don't know about
your
thoughts.
like one of the things is, not trying to be overly philosophical or religious here, but that's just the nature of the situation here, is being risk adverse is it's what you call, it's an illusion, right? I mean, let's put it this way. We have no control over anything, right? I don't know if I'm going to be alive in 5-10 minutes. I don't know. I don't have any control whether, you know,
It's gonna be anarchy the next day.
tomorrow. Exactly. So like this idea that I'm going to calculate everything. I'm starting to realize in life, like we really have no control. And when you look at the scriptures, that seems to be the trend. Like God asks you to do things. And when you look, especially in the Book of Mormon, but it's also evident in the Bible in other areas, but especially in the Book of Mormon with the Jaredites and the Nephites coming over, God always says, I will take you to a promised land, and you will know that it's only because of me. It would have been impossible for you to get there. And to me, like when you look, when you like he's saying, like to me, it's like when you really think about it, every choice that you make in life, you think there might be a safe choice or an unsafe choice. To me, you're only making one choice. Is choosing to have God on your side or not. That's really, at the end of the day, that's where everything boils down to. And I think it's hilarious that, you know, some people think like, oh, if you just make these 10 choices, you're always going to come out on top. I'm like, Shanna, I've seen people make the exact same choices.
It doesn't pan out.
Turn out terrible. And then I see someone do the exact same choices and turn out great. Right.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of the things that come to mind. Also, like you're saying, America not only attracts these kind of minds, like you're saying, but it seems to be the only real place that allows those types of risks to be worth it, right? Nobody's running to China to take those risks because you're not rewarded for taking those risks, right? Because the government gets so big, it's oppressive.
It's going to control it. Whatever new idea it has, it will control it. Yeah.
This is the reason why I don't like the federal government getting too strong, because if the federal government pushes all the laws out, then I'm in Texas because I believe in the Texas philosophy, the government, the economic opportunity that's here. Now, if the federal government dictated everything, then I had nowhere to go, right? That's what I love about the things that America allows. Even the government system allows for entrepreneurship to happen, even within the states.
Yeah.
Right? Each state, you try what I think. Right? Obviously, we don't want to do what certain states are doing. Nothing against water bears, but California is a dump right now. I'm really not excited to be in California, right? But here in Texas, and I'm worried, you know, because Texas is growing, it's having economic opportunity. I'm worried that 10, 20 years from now, it's going to turn out like California. One of the reasons why I was, you know, I've been saying it since I was at BYU, Utah is the next California. And look, you know, I love BYU, but the success that BYU is seeing, to me, is that's what California, it's going to build on it, right? And it's just the more wealth, the more opportunity, the more success. Unfortunately, it tends to turn liberal over time. There's a reason why all the big cities, even where I am in San Antonio, it's in a conservative state, but San Antonio is pretty liberal.
The city,
It's the city where you combine wealth and power. That it just happens to turn that way, right? And that's something that I thought, you know, America, for one reason or another, and I think that's one of the blessings that America has. And as long as America holds on to it, they'll continue to be free, continue to be wealthy. But we forget God, things are going to go backwards. Then all of a sudden, we're going to lose the thing that made us special. And, you know, I don't know. I'm starting to ramble there for a little bit.
Yeah. No, all good. All good.
Let's see. The one video I wanted to go to, Maria BYU.
Mm.
Maria. You know what? It was let me see if I can find it. Maybe it was on Facebook. Yeah, maybe it probably is on Facebook. About the I don't know who she is, but she tried. You know what? Maybe it is trying to find the young lady who tried horse for the first time, and
Oh,
I think she's like a singer.
I,
Oh, it's right
eh,
here. I see it. I see it.
was she,
So go
did
ahead.
she know before she tried it, or they just told
Yeah,
her try it? Oh, okay.
yeah. So have you heard of the Tongan cowboy? Masi, I think we
Yes.
looked at some of his. So this is, I think she was doing a. Who is she, man? Like, let's see who she is. Kaylani. Let's see who she is.
You said a singer, huh?
Yeah, American singer and songwriter.
Oh, okay.
So
Shit.
let's see here. We're gonna. So that's doesn't look anything like her. Looks different, but Kehlani Ashley Parrish is an American singer and songwriter. They are originally from Oakland, California, and achieved initial fame as a member of the teen pop group Pop Life. I have no idea who these
I have
people are.
no
I
idea.
am getting old.
Mm.
That's when you know you're on the old side.
Yeah, yeah. You're not
Okay.
following the trend and new up and coming entertainers.
Yeah. So this is her. And it looks like she's aware of what it is. I'm assuming she's
Okay.
aware, but this is oh, she's Polynesian apparently. I guess with
Okay.
the name, right? Maybe, but I didn't know she
Mm-hmm.
was Polynesian. But yeah, she's trying Tongan Cowboys Lo'i Hosi here.
Yeah, no. Do you know, like you said, even with the name, because since Moana has been so popular, even non-Tongans or non-Polynesians are having Moana names. So, hey, that's a fair point. So like,
Yeah,
oh, sometimes they're not Polynesian, but they just like the name.
10-4. So yeah, let's Kealani here having a Tongan Cowboy
Hmm.
horse.
It's chili pepper steak.
Oh, that's good. That's banging.
Banging.
That's banging. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Trust me.
That's good.
Maria.
Yeah, when you do Hosi right, man,
It's
it's
pretty
really
good.
good. Yeah,
I'll give it a 9 too.
So a 9 out of 10.
not bad. Not bad with these kind of people who eat at
I'm
fancy restaurants and
Exactly.
high end
Right.
places. So they'll take that all day.
Good job, Tongan Cowboy.
Yeah.
There was like a trend for a while. I've seen a lot of Ha'amoa eating horsey,
Mm.
right? There was
Yeah, yeah.
like for a while, I've seen a lot of the social media. Looks like, sorry guys, you guys are pretty active here in the
Oh, King
comments
Alpha.
here, but we've reached out to King Alpha T Style. He's a very busy man, so I mean, it's
Apparently, he
open.
travels a lot. He
Yeah,
travels a lot because he's a tattoo artist, and that's why he only does a lot of those snippet videos. Because my man is always on the move, especially in the West Coast and Hawaii. Hmm.
yeah. So would love to have him. We're hoping to see what the opportunities are in the future. But I think we were hoping. Was it Kani? We're hoping to, if Kani's tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? Was that? Yeah, is it tomorrow? We're hoping to meet up with Kani. Kani.
Whenever I know, yeah, relatively soon with Kanye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'd love to have that. But yeah, I mean, guys,
and,
any people you guys
yeah,
recommend, we'd love to talk with them. On
I'm
our
working with
humble
a few.
channel.
Yeah, I'm working with a few guys. Hopefully, we'll get some answers soon. So, yeah, in the works.
Yes. So here's another interesting video I wanted for us to take a look at, Masi. This is a little bit more related to our Hawaii or Vaihi. No, this looks like maybe a Cook Islander or something. He talks about their understanding of Hawaii,
Okay.
which in our interpretation is Vaihi. Interesting. This is kind of the thing with like different ideas, perspective mixed with like what science says, but this gentleman's gonna share their perception on what Hawaii is.
It means homeland. Homeland, where you're born now. It doesn't mean heaven or anything like other people are saying. It just means your homeland. My homeland, my Awaiki is Tonga. My father's Awaiki is Atio because he's born there. One of my grandfathers, Awaiki is Strayete. That's his home. But if you talk about Awaiki Pa Mama, Awaiki means home. Pa is a row of homes. And Mama means the first. And that is in Asia. That's where Awaiki Pa Mama is.
What is kind of your initial things here?
He's mostly correct because he's probably going off Asia, but Mamau has been like first or kind of where
Far
people come up.
away, yeah.
Yeah, far away, which it's kind of what we've kind of been preaching to everyone our ideas, which we believe that the Hawaii Po Mamau is right the Americas. So
Yeah.
we can. He seems like somebody we're like 70% there of kind of the mean Hawaii where you're at when you keep going back and back. Just different of he's the opposite side in Asia compared to the Americas. But hey,
yeah,
it's cool. It's cool. But I don't know what's your thoughts.
No, I agree. I think what he's trying to do here is take the oral history, meaning Hawaii, means the homeland, right? And that's how he would use it. And when he's saying, "Oh, we don't need to listen to these people about heaven," that reminds me of these people who are trying to say Mama and Langi and Puloto, people who are misunderstanding the oral history.
The concept,
yes. And he's trying, from his perspective is, Hawaii Pamamao is the original home or the faraway home. And science right now is leaning towards Asia off of genetic material, right? Kind of genetic makeup. So I thought that was really interesting. And I like you're saying, I can see where he's coming from. Obviously, we have a different perspective, but let's see if there's anything else towards the end of this video. But yeah, I'm pretty aligned. Like what you're saying, it's kind of interesting.
Regional home of the Polynesian people.
See?
But then there's other Awaiki. It's just a metaphorical way of using the word Awaiki.
Water bear, mafana water bears. Remember, Vaihi derives from Vaini.
Maria Vaini. Motolo u kakai ke he. Maria Vaini.
Maria Vaini Puto. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, right? Like to have to. So what we're getting to is there's a lot of oral history that talks about Vaihi, right? And saying that Vaihi is the homeland, Vaihi is the ancestral motherland. And so yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting to see that. So Yahweh. A lot of people we've gotten some interesting comments on TikTok with people being upset with some of our shorts coming through. But anyways, here's another interesting one. Another interesting perspective on history, government systems. I never really heard this before. So we'll kind of see what everybody thinks here. But he's talking about the ancient systems in Hawaii, governmental systems.
Government, the power for the final decision is from the top down. But in the AHA councils, it was upside down. The power to make the final decisions lay with the people in the Akioli, in the people that lived, the people whose decision would be affected were the ones that made the final decision. Something that I was asked to share with all of you today concerning ancient Molokai was the manner in which the ancient people governed themselves. And they governed themselves by what they call the aha, or councils. Now, this form of government existed throughout all the Hawaiian Islands, and it ended all the islands during, or began to end during the 8th and 9th century, when people came from Lower Polynesia, bringing the Ali'i system, bringing their new kapus, bringing the god Ku, and bringing human sacrifices to Hawaii and overpowering the people here. And the government and the manner in which the people governed themselves changed. But
I thought that was interesting, right? So
Yeah.
he's saying, like, according to his perspective, there was like some kind of ahu system, and then he's saying that existed up to the 8th or 9th century, and then people from Lower Polynesia came up
Yes.
and made changes to their government systems. Um,
Bringing chiefdoms with the Ali'i system and
yeah,
human sacrifice. Okay.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
kind of
What?
interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of looking at it when we look at it in regards to the Tui Manua Empire. Nah, just kidding. Um, I couldn't help myself there. But when we look at it, with the Tui Tonga, if he's saying 8th or 9th century, that's what approximately, if we go off of Devi Tafale's timeline, 450. That's at least the Tui Tonga is at least 500 to 600 years old, and maybe moving north. Maybe that's where Western Polynesia is moving into Eastern Polynesia as the younger parts there. But I think that's interesting that they didn't have their native government system was not kings, right?
Yeah.
And that according to that oral history, the king and the ali'i, or the Aiki system, comes from Southern Polynesia upwards.
Yeah. Mm.
So I thought that just kind of goes to show that the uniqueness of the Tui system and the noble system, that there's a unique trend that goes with that's not a common way of organizing,
Mm.
quote unquote. And just I thought that was kind of interesting that they're recognizing that a foreign form of government came to them over time, assuming that oral history is accurate.
It's correct. Yeah.
But that was kind of the things that stuck out to me, because that's not a Tui system, right?
Yeah.
This Ahu system seems a little bit more like what's the Samoan version of the after the Tui Tonga left? It was that distributed power. What's the system that they have
Like the Matai.
the Matai system?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That was some of the things that popped up in my mind.
Mm.
Anything else for you, Masi? Any thoughts on that?
This could explain, because you know how they said in Hawaii that they were like the Menehune that probably were there during that same time, or just before the Polynesians, and that could be the system that this gentleman is probably speaking of. If we give the benefit of the doubt that it's true. But I did hear some stories of people who were maybe who are like Melanesians, but they were described as much smaller people compared to the
The
Polynesians. So
Polynesians that were coming out.
so that's what I was thinking about when this gentleman was explaining that oral
Interesting.
history.
Yeah. And that's I didn't think about that, but yeah, maybe that's like the first contact with that group of people.
Mm.
And getting larger. They got larger with the Polynesians coming
Yeah.
up and joining in that society.
Yeah.
Okay.
the island of Molokai,
Because it's the same thing here in New Zealand. There's these people called the Moriori. It's a different kind
Mm.
of people that were different from the Maoris, that they were kind of here, but they were more like hunter gatherer kind of people and very small. So I don't know. It could be the same kind of people that maybe that was in Hawaii just before the Polynesians, or they were there at the same time, but just different parts of the region. They just kind of you
Yeah.
know, met together, and then one people just dominated over the other.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. That's why I'm somewhat open to the possibility that there were Lapita people, possibly. I don't know, right? There could have been people there. I'm open to either one. I think some of them were, settled by Polynesians, and I think we looked at that article, Masi, that showed kind of the ditch farming,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's what made it possible to actually farm and have consistent food source on these smaller atolls, right?
Mhm.
That maybe the original Polynesians brought that technology that allowed
Yeah.
them to settle certain islands that were difficult to settle.
Mm.
So okay, yeah, let's give this guy a couple more minutes here and see what he has to say.
Okay.
The Kahuna tradition, they maintained the Aha councils all the way until the time of Kiha'a Pi'ilani, the son of Pi'ilani of Maui, when he was the one who was able to overthrow the people of Molokai. Now let me explain what the Aha councils were. First, the word Aha. As we all know, the word is referred to a type of cord, a type of woven cord. Now, this is the mana'o of what an aha was and why they chose that as an example. When you take the raw material from the olona and you weave it into a string, that string is called an aho. And then you take 8 aho and you weave it together in a tight weave. And those 8 single aho strings woven together forms the aha. Now the mana'o of the kupuna is those separate cords represents all of the different mana'o or people that are brought together with their understanding, with their spiritual abilities, with their knowledge from whatever profession they come into the and how they serve the people in their ahupua'a, and they are woven together to form this aha cord. That aha cord represents maintaining the pono in the land and unifying the land. In ancient Molokai, each ahupua'a had its own aha council, and that aha was called aha kiole. And the aha kiole, each aha kiole were made of practitioners and kahuna that served and lived in that ahupua'a. If that ahupua'a had a fish pond in it or had fishermen, one representative was taken into that council. If they had kahuna in there that practiced healing, one came into that council. If they had a taro farmer, one came. If they had canoe builders,
Kind of
one came.
interesting.
Whatever
Yeah.
profession existed in that ahupua'a, they came and sat in that ahakiole, and they took care of the affairs of the people that lived in their ahupua'a. And they were the ones responsible for maintaining the pono in the land. And our kupuna were very wise in doing that. For who would know better how to take care of the sea except the fishermen? Who would know better how to take care of the forest except the kahunas or the tree, the canoe builders that use the forest? Who would know how to maintain the
Interesting.
Kind of reminds me when we talk about when they would have the kava and
Exactly. That's
everybody
what I was thinking.
brings their little specialty, their
Yes.
knowledge, and that's the input that would bring into the kava discussion
Yes.
and so forth. It seems very similar to what he's kind of describing, right?
Yeah.
And each person just has that knowledge. They don't just give it to anybody, but they contribute it at the right time, at the
Yeah.
right place for the right purpose.
Yeah. No, and that's or if everyone is contributing and they feel like, oh, I'll contribute because go ahead, and then they contribute because it makes sense with that type of living that everyone you don't have a time to go test things. You have these things that's been in your family that you specialize over time. If it's fishing, or if it's agriculture, or if it's um, mat making or ngatu making, that everyone has their koloa within their family, and they come in after days of work,
Mm-hmm.
come in into the fare, have a kava, and then fire talanoa. But yeah, no, that's what I was thinking, Tua. Back in the days of how it was having a fight kava in those days compared to these days that was more of like exchanging ideas and color.
Not 100%. Let's see here. Let's give these guys are trying to have too much of a good time where they're asking this is Tongan style. No mercy.
Shit.
Yahweh. Come on, guys. He's a big kahuna.
Kahuna size. Everyone say
Kahuna.
big, small, jumbo, and then there's the kahuna. Oh, wow.
The big kahuna.
Water for taro planting, but the taro farmers themselves. And so, as many ahupua'a as there were in the moku was as how many ahakiole they were. Then, in the moku, in ancient Molokai, there were 4 moku. Each of the moku picked one representative from the ahakiole to sit on a second aha that was called the aha moko. And this aha took care of the affairs when needed, when it concerned all of the people in their moku. They took care of the affairs there. And then, like on ancient Molokai, they had 4 moku. Then they would form a third council, which is called the aha kea. And these were chosen either from 1 or 2 people from the mokus, from the moku councils to come and to sit on this aha kea council. But in Western government, the power for the final decision is from the top down. But in the aha councils, it was upside down. The power to make the final decisions lay with the people in the aha kiole, in the ahupua'a. The aha moko or the aha kea had no power over the aha kiole. The people that lived, the people whose decision would be affected, were the ones that made the final decision. But
Interesting.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
No, I'm just thinking it could have, because he seems like he's very familiar with Molokai's history. So it could have been a Molokai thing, but maybe not all of Hawaii. Just
yeah.
regarding the Tui Tonga and the Tui Hatagalawa on how they appointed was always father to son. But Tui Kanupolu, when it was created, it was election with certain
system.
clans. Iyo. So it could have been something like that. Like maybe he's thinking maybe he's kind of covering. Maybe it could have. He's thinking it was all of Hawaii, but maybe it was just a Molokai thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just thinking the complexity of trying to keep something like that, right? Like how could you govern that like that? I don't know. I mean, I guess the closest thing we could think of is Israel with the judges, but even then, this doesn't seem like they have a law, right? It's more of just quote unquote voting. But how would you keep track of that? I don't know. I have a hard time seeing it. I have a hard time seeing it.
Even if that was the case, you could see why the Tui or Ali'i system just really just overpowered
dominated.
It was simple, simplistic in a way that you can also garner more influence in a wider region and the whole Hawaiian island group kind of thing. So no, makes sense. It's hard to grow with that system, to grow it to be a central governing body for just even if you go for the whole island of Molokai, it'd be very difficult.
Do you think, Masi, that they were able to count all the votes in one night, or did it have to go into I'm just wondering. I mean, did this have to go like to multiple days?
Yeah.
Was this Kukui not voting or paper ballots? I'm trying to, I'm just trying to see.
River Rock.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting that I mean, it's an interesting idea. I think there's some components in there that seem kind of true, but then there's others. I'm just like, well, how would you organize that? How would you,
I think it could. I think he's maybe. This is just my opinion. it could have been like more of a Tongan thing of a social gathering of certain families having a kava, exchanging ideas. But I don't know if it was a central
government, like a government. Yeah,
political decision to
and
do
that's
that.
what I'm
'Cause
kind of
yeah,
getting to. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
That's my thoughts on that. But
yeah, it's just like the village having a kava ceremony
yeah,
and said, "Hey, yeah, go up to that village. You represent us. Talk to them." I don't know.
yeah.
Interesting,
Uh,
interesting. Let's see. These guys, I don't know. You guys are these guys are debating whether he's laying down or sitting up.
hey, just Polynesian commentary right there. Hey, it's just I understand what our viewers are wanting. It's just some good Polynesian commentary.
um, let me see here. This one, let's go talk about the labor situation in Tonga here real quick. If I can find the video, let's start.
Mm.
I think they're both in Tongan, but let's start with this gentleman here.
Is this labors to like construction and stuff?
No, the
And so,
picking, like the fruit
ah,
picking in New Zealand and Australia.
mm,
Um, let's
okay,
listening through
okay.
here. Yeah,
Is
and
this
this
this week,
gentleman,
Tua? When was this?
yeah, October 4th.
Okay, yeah, just okay.
So kind of interesting. I thought I was when I first listened to it, I thought I'd be thinking one way, but the more I thought about it, kind of some interesting things to discuss on this perception. So basically, there's pushback now about going to this fruit picking, going overseas, and whether it's
Yeah,
actually a positive or a negative impact on the
yeah,
Tongan economy overall.
yeah.
So let's listen through it here real quick. Apologize for the viewers. It is in Tongan. I thought it was in English, but this one is in Tongan.
Seems like they're in Parliament, yeah.
Mobility ko i tonga ni kapag tau sio patata pe ki ha moa o hange ha moa ia o CVCV e kawal ko ke tori i he naulawa ko sio ko ke whakahu ko ke retirement ni kapoku nau sio o ku ho retirement ni o ke kau ko he lau ko ia ke lava alu he tori ai mahino o kwa ho ngawe o whakahu ke retirement ni ne lave e ki minister ko uinga ai tori ke sio ke mau ngawe a kakai ko ke na mau ngawe ka ko sio ia ke criteria ko fe mau ko me he monusina masteria o ke fit e kau unemployed dia e criteria ko ia au na wala mai na to ia o to ai kakai u na os mau ngawe ka ko sio pe ke frausi ko ke lave ko ai fafonga ko to tapuraki o wai kakai o kuna os invest no whakamore I he no upskill e kau ngawe ko ni e kakai a tau whanua. Pana alu le wana tori au mau ngawe I seasonal work ko tori. O mwani e lave ko e ko mea mai ko e whawhonga whikawaki. O na wano to ngawe e whanua ko asteria manusila pana hara to ki tongani o holiday mai ki tongani. O kore pe ke tau ki sio nge ke criteria ke ave whakapapau ko kakai ko alu ko ke tori ko kakai o ke na o si mau hanga awe ko ko hafonga pe tau fu he fonga ko ha moa malo pito
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts? Tua?
Yeah. So there's two things that I really kind of think about is what's the driver behind this, right? Because they're making it sound like, I mean, I guess the whole point of the seasonal picking was to allow people without job opportunities to find work. However, the local businesses are learning, well, these people that already have jobs are
They're
seeing
leaving.
economic opportunity and
Yeah,
they're going, right?
yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, and this is what I'm getting to, right? Is what's the long-term picture here? And I want to, this gentleman, he's from the Mandlala family. right? The Ramnal family, the Indian family. They
What,
have
the Indian?
the one who owned that. What's that hotel in the downtown Nuku'alofa Hotel? I think they were also owners in the Tongan Power Company when it was
Private.
privatized. You know, he's also married to a girl I went to school with, Kate Cowley, with the Cowleys. So these are families. When he says there are people who have invested in people, what he's saying is my family and the families around me
and my in-laws.
yes, we've invested in people and upskilled them. Right. I'm just trying. I mean, and I have no dog in the fight here. I've just been thinking about this now that I've heard the arguments. And so that's their concern, right? Says there's that business, the business people in Tonga, they have their concern. Oh, we're losing we've invested in these people and we're losing the quality workers. Well, that's technically true, but also at the same time, they're also saying these people are going overseas and they come in holiday in Tonga. Well, what does that mean? They're coming with money. And when they're coming with that money, what are they going to do? They're going to spend it on goods and services in Tonga. So there's two ways you can look at it. Yes, you're going to lose these skilled workers, but these skilled workers will bring that money back and they're going to spend more, which gives you more opportunity to develop skilled workers. So regardless of who goes overseas or who stays, my current perception is it's a positive ad, right? Because that demand's going to come, that person coming from overseas with that additional buying power is going to still build, this idea of like, oh, they're building the New Zealand and Australian economy. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Yes, they're, providing a service over there. But when I look at the who's getting more out of that deal, I think Tonga is getting way more.
Yeah.
Like if we take away the tori from Tonga, the Australian economy is still going to be light years ahead.
Yeah.
But sending them over. So I think
they're only going to go.
Yeah.
They're only going to go more to Asia, Tua, if they're not going to get it from its close neighbors. So it doesn't
the Philippines, Southeast Asia, yes. So to me, it's kind of interesting because now we're seeing the different, I don't want to call them lobbyists, but the different interests, right?
Yes.
These families that do have a little bit more wealth, more businesses. Oh, they're saying, well, I'm paying for them and they're leaving. Well, that's what happens when you have to compete, right?
Yes.
You have to compete. And who is it to say basically you're asking for a ceiling? Oh, or only those who are suffering at the bottom can go. No, this is whoever. This is for all the people. And if they say they can get more economic opportunity by going overseas, allow them to, right? And that will make, and then they'll bring money back, and really they'll spend it on your businesses. The only thing that's keeping the Tongan economy afloat is money coming from overseas, because we're not producing enough locally and exporting, right? Everything's imported, and all these businesses who are quote unquote investing in people. Well, I'll tell you what, you're not keeping the trade deficit any different. You're importing all these raw materials, all these goods into
from
Tonga,
overseas.
From overseas. So in a way, that's why when you look at the big picture, if you just zoom in on the individual business, this argument seems to be like, oh yeah, that's a negative. But when you zoom out to the overall economy, those businesses still benefit from all that money coming from overseas. That's my there, myself.
No. To me, I have no issues with the people going over to the Tori, because at the end of the day, they're upping their financial stability for the future. So if they have the opportunity to go, they should go. To me, I would worry about the social aspect, because I know it is an issue, not the money.
Yes,
it's
the
social
marriage, the
aspect.
family. Yes.
If these guys go, that it's better that they have a visa, like a family visa, they can go, because they're gone 6, 8 months away working like crazy, and then you get, it's either you do on all men, or but don't, maybe instead of mix, like, there's a lot of social harm that's actually happening in these things when you get people gone too far. To me, that's the thing they need to change. But don't I don't think you should limit somebody's economic opportunity just because the current businesses have a job for you. No, if you should be able to go to any job that you can
Yeah.
get, if it's going to provide you more economic opportunity. To me, it's the social harm that you're probably causing to families, because at the end of the day, your your village and the national health of a society, of the country, can be affected long term. So to me, that should be considered a little bit more. If somebody does go, especially when they're gone, if they're gone 2 3 months, maybe that's, you can think. But
The 6
some of
months
the
and more is, yeah.
6 months or more, like, you try to do a family visa, government can support. If you can't get the family visa for whatever reason, maybe they don't meet that criteria, I think that should be an
The
important factor.
deciding
But like,
factor. Yeah.
deciding factor. But like what you said, Tua, these guys, I'm a fan of the Tonga Tapu Uluwaki, but he's also a business guy too, and it's the businesses guys that are getting affected with
Interests.
not interest,
Yeah.
that are being affected, that people are leaving their workplaces, going searching for a better opportunity. So to me, it's either you need to maybe have some benefits to maybe keep the workers there. Maybe it doesn't have to be, maybe pay or whatever. Maybe not even have to be paid. Maybe better working conditions, or maybe add more paid break or paid
Holiday.
holiday.
Yeah.
You gotta like what you said. It's a competition. Think a little bit more. These businesses need to think a little bit more to
Be creative.
make their employment more attractive, because it's not easy going to, I'm thinking like one of these farm places, Napier, New Zealand, um, sitting in a tree farm or pumpkin farm for 6 months, and you only go to town maybe once every 2 weeks. Like, that's still a hard life to live all the way out there. Than if you can try to keep their workers in Tonga with their families and still make it somewhat competitive. You probably won't able to compete the best, but if you add some paid holidays, better working conditions, I know that's
Yeah.
huge in Tonga. If you can improve the working conditions in Tonga, let the worker decide to stay or not. But you should not government should not get involved, because you're actually hurting more the
You're
growing economy.
impeding the
Yes,
freedom of the citizen at that
correct.
point. Because I mean, I did listen to the Tonga Tapu first rep, and that to me was the most compelling, right? The degradation of the family.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
that to me, that's
that
the
should
most powerful position to take.
yes, I agree.
This whole I invested in upskilled Shana. If they go overseas, they're gonna get upskilled 10 times more, learning at a farm how to
Yes,
be efficient, drive equipment,
yeah,
organize labor. They're gonna learn a whole lot more there than they probably gonna learn at your little Farikoloa, and
yeah,
how to and the upskills that they're talking about, that's not, they're not talking about rocket science. Trust me, you can upskill a lot of people. You're
yeah,
just saying it's inconvenient and you have to compete. um
yeah,
so yeah, but
yeah. We're
interesting.
alignment there. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. It's good to I know we've been affected as a family, because I know our older brother in Tonga was building his house and doing stuff. Even up to now, it's still hard to find some
Some labor,
laborers,
skilled labor.
laborers. But it's just part of those things. Maybe we just need to make it more attractive, somewhat. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, you should not limit other people's opportunity. They're gonna find something else.
And
So we've been
this is,
affected. We've been
yes.
affected with the shortage.
Well, and this is not anything new. I mean, I'm in the solar here in the US.
Mm,
That's a challenge. Finding
mm,
skilled labor is a challenge. There's a shortage of electricians, a
mm,
shortage of skilled labor. That's just the nature of the free market,
yeah.
right?
Mm.
So, to end the night here, we're coming up on the third hour. What I would like to do, it is a little bit of maybe that one's too long. Yeah, no, I don't care, man. We're 7-0. We're gonna watch all 17 minutes of this highlight here.
Let's go. Let's
Since we
go.
didn't get to watch the game, but we'll end it with this exciting times. And as we all agreed, Masi's a genius, right? So look at that. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like Provo hasn't been so highlighted in Utah so much as it's been the last couple of years with BYU football, Salt Lake, Park City. I mean, Utah it's getting a lot of love. It's getting a lot of love. So let's see what this looks like.
Conference on ESPN from gorgeous Provo, Utah, the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains, and the stunning vista that is
Cougar Tail
Stadium. They've got their Cougar.
I'm not a fan personally of it, but you know.
Yeah,
fans here ready
I'm
to
not a
watch
huge
an
donut
undefeated
fan
playoff
overall.
contender,
Oh, okay.
BYU. Oklahoma State coming off a bye, looking to right its season in Provo,
Ooh,
Utah.
look at
Number
that.
one.
Beautiful. How is Iowa State ranked higher than us? Come on.
No, and that's what people have been saying. BYU is the only one that has top 25 wins than anybody else. They're it's just perception. You know, people are not willing to do their homework. They just see, oh, BYU is relatively new. So, but BYU being SMU and Kansas State, and they're currently in the top 25. I think the only other school to do that is Oregon, beating Boise and Ohio State. No other school. So BYU should be number 2 in the world, in the nation.
Yeah. Hey, ESPN and experts, I have a genius. I know a genius that can help you guys with your rankings.
Let me work from home, ESPN. Let me work out of Manurewa, New Zealand. Na itay hoa mamabahe may nusila.
Hey, you're gonna go on the Tory visa.
Tinkley Ropati both returned last week. Brett left to the air on first down, wants it all into coverage. And it's hauled in.
Whoa, nice.
This is the thing that is the biggest change, Masi, from the last 15 years. Big plays downfield. The last time we kind of had it was with Wilson.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But this is something that we used when we were like dominant in the 80s, early 90s. These kind of plays were
gives you a chance.
BYU was known for this.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems like this team, they got the deep threat as always on the board.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps when you have a quarterback that can throw it that deep too.
Yep. 100%.
Lassiter, a boom on the opening play on BYU. They're going to run the football. Well, they show you that right away. You peek into the backfield too long.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Lassiter
Perfect throw between two
into the game
DBs.
running back. Retzlaff, who is the team's leading rusher.
Maria.
First down with his feet, a gain of 14 yards. O.J. Martin back in it, running back. Retzlaff, quarterback, keeper.
Nice.
Touchdown, BYU.
Relatively easy.
Scrappy. Yeah.
And it helps when BYU doesn't have a superstar. Everyone is playing just well.
Yeah.
Position. Jake Retzlaff, they're not afraid to run him. This is a designed quarterback run that opened up for him, puts BYU up 7-0.
We'll just suspend the honor code for a little bit.
Some accuracy and get him back in the
Yeah, what, Bears?
heavy stack on the right side, and Gordon has room to run. He hasn't seen this much daylight.
Hey, Waterbirds, especially with what's been going on recently, I think that's still a good thing to get the tattoos as a kid.
Excellent. Gordon, and he does
Turn down the volume a little bit.
What's the shift here? Everybody moving. It's causing BYU to have
chaos.
to move.
Look at that. Look at that. All those people on the
and
line.
Snap is perfect. It's on time. There are more bodies.
Missed tackles. Dang it.
Yep. And I think that running back is probably going to go NFL after this season, or Oklahoma State.
Hey, isn't our cousin at Oklahoma State from
No,
Tavi's?
no. Arizona State.
Oh,
He
he went.
switched last minute. Yo, he
Oh, he
switched and
switched
he
last minute.
because he did commit to thing, and I think during signing day he switched last minute and committed to Arizona State. So he's
Must
there.
have been some NIL
Okay.
influence.
Hey, when you play in this sport, you just never know when your time is up.
Yeah, you got to take that. You got to
Yep.
take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, can't turn the corner. Terrific play in space by Cale Smith. That's where they're going with the football. I fake it to Gordon. Rangel.
Wow.
Running laterally and chased
Wow.
behind Jack
That defense is good, man.
Yeah.
step
Yeah.
through or throw through.
With the amount of turnovers they had throughout, the defense kept them in the game.
Kept them in the game. Man, do you think we're gonna be able to keep this guy? Jay Hill, is that his name?
It's gonna come at a cost because when you're in the top 25 for total defense in the nation, you know those other
People are
programs.
knocking on the door.
Eo,
Yeah.
Eo. I feel like if BYU can be somewhat competitive, and I think he's enjoyed, especially he had his heart issue, and BYU kind of took care of him. Alani
Less
stepped up and
stress. Yeah.
took over his job for that first game and kind of made things easy. I mean, and what
That goes a
Provo,
long way. Yeah.
and the thing is about Provo, which I think is better than Salt Lake after visiting. Provo is relatively not that much homeless. It's a relatively safe place. You can't get that. You can't, Salt Lake, my shit. When I was there the last time, the amount of homeless and crime is there. You can just see it. It's like it's full Govia Pito. So I think there's some good selling points with Provo, Utah, and if they can be somewhat competitive, I think Shaya.
All right. All right. All right.
Just spins it out.
Dude, he can launch that thing.
Like that for a first down at the 25.
That Udi kid, number 5, he's doing really well.
Yeah, it's a great year for him. Hey, Yahweh. Trick plays worked for us a few times. It obviously didn't work here.
It bit us in the butt, this one.
Parker Robertson, the former walk-on. And BYU turns it over. And this crowd did not love that call from the BYU offense.
Yeah, he should have just ran it.
Yeah.
BYU brings pressure. Rangel, too high.
Oh.
Tanner Wall threading the sideline.
Oh, almost get there.
And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line.
Wow, they bailed them out. Yeah.
The defense is real, man. It's legit. I don't have to see any more games. They're legit after week 6. I was like, yo, these defense.
Take a look to see if he indeed got in. Now I think he's down where the ball, his knee was touching. Tyler Batty tried to escort him across the goal line, tried to throw him in. And that's 2 weeks in a row where Wall's at 3.
Not bad.
Sneak here, maybe. Instead, it's LJ.
So, and a touchdown. So not only they get the ball back, but they score on it.
Yeah.
And they punch it in. Well, the formation was such that it looked like they were trying to spread Oklahoma State out. Instead, they were going to bring Martin in motion, getting an escort towards the end zone, gets him down to the 1, and then LJ Martin puts it in.
Think we'll break top 10 next week.
See big plays.
Hopefully, gets a couple losses.
Wide
open.
I think top 10 will be good, but maybe 11 for sure.
BYU crowding the line of
We're gonna need some upsets if we're gonna break top 10.
Yeah.
Has an open man in the flat.
Oh.
Yeah, he's NFL. I'm telling you, man. This guy's NFL. Gordon. I was actually surprised he's still stuck around.
Garrett Rangel. Where do you go? Where's your blitz beater? Everybody's inside. You get Jack Kelly with his feet flat.
Malo Fenga.
Out leveraged
Number 10, A for effort.
Just a heck of a play going over the top. Lassiter, who's been a big play guy tonight in the slot. Retzloff with room to run.
That's what you want, man. If you don't see it, let it.
Marie. This guy's been surprisingly really good in the run, man.
I just love the courage of this young man. Yeah, you're not looking to get down or slide or.
The thing is like he's pretty fast. He doesn't look like he's super fast, but
I just like the way
he's obviously
spinning it
pretty
now,
fast.
Clark.
So
I mean, that ball's
running
coming
by
out of his
people.
hands with some velocity. He's been playing with confidence. Chased here.
Oh.
Pressure by Ezekbo, Oklahoma
I
State.
like the confidence, but
Black
tough throw.
come up with the interception. Corey Black, the veteran, career interception. Praising him, and he just held on to it a little too long. That one should have gone out of bounds. Come back on the next play. First things first, though. On third down, Rangel, another quarterback keeper.
Oh my goodness. Oh, they caught him.
That's what happens when you play man and you bring the blitz and they break one out.
Nobody's got the QB. Yeah.
Ball saved a touchdown. And you've got Tyler Batty, who's just crashing inside. He's going to crash down inside. And that just gives Rangel all he needs in terms of turf in which to break a big play. Well, I tell you what, here's what happened at the tail end of the play. You know, right at the end of it, he goes down on that left shoulder, and that's the one he's holding on to right in the clavicle area.
The quarterback got hurt?
I know that because I've injured that one before, and it is very, very uncomfortable. So Rangel was starting tonight.
Probably got a
in place
stinger.
of Bowman, the seventh-year senior who had been benched. Now Bowman is back in. He's had his struggles, and he's not nearly as mobile as Rangel, but the more experienced passer. And he'll hand it off. The hurdle by Ali
She's
Gordon.
jumping over everybody.
Yeah.
So he sounds like he's pretty legit, like you're saying, Musty.
Yeah, he won the top running back award last year. So that's why I was kind of surprised that he still stuck around.
Didn't go to the draft.
But you know, when you get good NIL deal, you can stick around in college for a little
Oklahoma
bit.
State with 162. Tack on another couple. Retzlaff 6 of 14. Pressure coming.
What?
Chucks it down.
What was that? Like I knew right off the bat that was a bad idea.
But that's his mentality. He's a gun. You can tell he's a gunslinger mental. He's gonna like some of his passes, and you're gonna hate him.
When you got a defense, you can take those chances, I guess.
Yeah.
Pocket passer. He doesn't run at negative rushing yards. And he's had a couple of nice runs on this drive.
Yeah,
Just giving you enough to think about. I mean, a couple
Someone
of nice
should line him up. He doesn't
on the
seem that fast.
outside
We
as
should be able
well.
to smash him.
Every play on this drive has been a run. High snap. Ali Gordon. Stiff arm.
Mania.
They got his jersey. If there's no receiver in the area, 48-yard kick. It's up and no good from Logan Ward.
Dude, that stadium sounds so loud.
Yeah.
And not playing sound fundamental football. This is what they want to
I
do.
think this guy's from El Paso, Texas.
Yep.
Give it to
Texas
LJ
boy.
Martin. Takes a year, 2 years maybe of starting, being in the starting lineup.
Nice. And he's a
He's a sophomore. Yeah.
sophomore.
He's definitely our best running back in the room.
And there's some pretty good other running backs too.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
Moa. I think Waterbird's kind of mentioned that Moa, Shunde Moa, running back. It's pretty good.
Along with Hinckley Rapati.
He kind of ran over Kansas State.
Nice trio of runners for this BYU offense, and it's Martin who finishes things off in the end zone.
man, we're able to run, we're able to throw. Defense is pretty good.
All three amounting to losses. Alan Bowman slings it over the middle.
Wow.
Presley, and intercepted by Tommy Prassis. Future, he was here, came to campus in January, went through spring ball, and gave himself a chance to see some time as a true freshman. He's got his first interception of his career. And if you're wondering, are there any more options?
Wow.
4 down territory here. Quarterback run.
Maria.
Got away from the first man.
Was that a third down?
3rd and 5. Yeah, and he got the first down.
They're going to need him if
good quarterback can run and throw.
Attempt of the third quarter for
Wow, that's a touchdown. That was a nice throw.
And the touchdown, Retzlaff to
What the heck is that celebration?
One of the new hip hop songs we don't know who are.
That's one of the guys with the tattoos that Waterbears was talking about. Oh, his foot's out. Is that foot out?
Check to see if his foot was indeed in bounds to finish
Ooh,
this
it's
run.
close.
But
Close.
man, what a heck of a
I still
job
see some green.
by
I
Retzlaff
don't know if that's
timing
off his
that thing
cleats.
up and getting the ball in his receiver's hands.
Ooh. That
Play is looked
it's
at
still a
by
little
the
green,
booth, and
but it looks out. I don't know.
That looks close. Remember, ruling on the field was touchdown, so you need
So maybe not enough clear evidence.
to overturn the call.
Oh, it looks like they gave it to him.
Yeah.
7th-year senior hands to the true freshman. And there goes Rodney Fields, providing a spark and a burst, and he might have if Ollie Gordon can't come back.
You're absolutely right. And the offensive
Oh, the
line
running back got hurt?
Springfield,
like
Jake
it.
Springfield.
Because they're saying the Gordon guy's out, might not be back.
His first action in quite some time opened up a nice hole.
Being a running back, that's tough, man.
2nd and 10.
Yep.
Backwards pass. It comes back to Bowman. He's got a convoy. Bowman, the showman, is
Oklahoma
Dude,
State stole that play from BYU. BYU has run
Yeah.
that play a couple of times. Oh, good medicine.
excellent job of selling it.
Dude, that quarterback runs like he's a Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Little trickery there, Anish. Excellent job of getting the pursuit going one way, and you got about 4, 5 offensive linemen out in front of Bowman. And it was close.
Looks like he stepped out.
Does that one
close.
there bounds?
Oh, he's still
it's
in
the
there.
left one for
Yeah.
me. I think there's still enough green.
I think he got it.
He's in.
And does
He
does
hit the
touch
pylon before his other foot went out.
Rejoins Retzlaff. No motions out.
Oh, jeez. Nice.
That's always been the guy. When you need a first down,
3rd down, go to him. Chase Roberts.
heavy set here for BYU with 2 tight ends. And Erickson another in motion. Adi plunges forward for a first down.
Maria.
And this one gives BYU a 31-28 lead with less than 9:40 to go in regulation.
Was already across his face pretty much.
Now Ollie Gordon. BYU rushes 3. Quick throw. Josh Ford, the tight end, looks to be a hair short.
Don't like the formation.
4th and they went for it.
Yep.
Oh, no way! That looks short.
Barely look, but look at that. The refs I don't know how they saw that. That's crazy.
Let's go back on that. That looks short, man.
Yeah. The refs really gave them that very good spot.
And it looks to be enough. This is going to be close.
I don't know.
Now they
Line
move
judge.
back.
I don't like the formation already, Anish.
That's close, man. I don't think he made it, dude.
No, I wouldn't give it to him, but he got a very favorable spot.
At best, he's right here. At best.
Yeah.
And his back was facing this way. So how did that ref?
No, and the ref on the bottom screen here, he kept pointing at that lady because I think it's a lady ref saying, "Oh, that's the spot. That's the spot."
Hand off to Fields. I think the spot's going to give him the first down.
And gave him more than actually the first down.
Yeah.
Bowman keeps it. What a gutsy call, and it looks to be enough. This is going to be close.
I don't know.
Now
Line judge, comes in and trumps everything. It's going to be just shy of the first down mark.
The initial spot from the
What?
far side seemed to be first down.
Oh, I thought for sure that's
They got to take a look at this.
How's that not a first down?
Refs are seeing ghosts, man.
They got to take a look at this spot. And Mike Gundy pleading his case. So fourth down.
Okay, you got that one for sure.
Oh, it looks like that Gordon kid
Is
came
a
back.
First down. It's Ali Gordon. Is 7 for 9. Underneath, Presley with room to run. Brennan
Rip the ball out, guys.
First down, Oklahoma State. Presley again, the motion man. The fake. Presley.
Oh,
in the
jeez.
flat, gets free. Oklahoma State takes the lead. What a play by Presley. Broke the tackle of the true freshman, Brassis, out in the flat with Presley. And credit Bowman for
It's
getting
just
him
straight
the ball
one-on-one.
in time.
One-on-one.
No, he needed to be closer,
where
tight
the
that space.
defender
So
was
once he caught
so
it,
that he
just
could
tackle him there. It's
throw
hard
a move.
to tackle him one-on-one when he's having momentum.
This is the ball game for BYU. Retzloff dancing. Slingshot.
Marie.
Fourth and 8. That was the winner.
He will have the first. That's the guy who gets you your first downs. Retzloff rolling.
Wow. Dude, Maria Retzloff.
Yeah.
Maria, Jewish man.
A Jewish manna is happening.
Happy feet.
Wow.
Look at that. Right in the pocket.
Wow. Number 5. What a game.
Yeah. 10
What
seconds.
a game. Dude, and this is great for ratings. This is exciting stuff.
Won its first and only national championship.
How can you not say BYU's not for real after that? Usually, typical BYU, you got minutes.
They would have
maybe,
folded on that.
Yeah.
Things are lining up for BYU. Holding coverage with his eyes. Lassiter
Tackling a ghost, that guy.
Yeah. No, that number 5 is a good player, man.
Is he like a senior? Because he's been with us for a while.
Yeah, this is last year.
Couldn't get him down. Neither could Lyric Rawls. And right over Parker.
1,
Mania.
2, 3.
Here's the check down to Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
Pitches it back to Bowman.
Not the miracle play.
Flutters it back to
You
all
might have
know.
to plan a trip to Dallas, Texas, the Big 12 championship game if this happens, man.
Yeah, man. That was awesome. That was awesome. I'm excited. Good for Kalani. Good for us.
Yeah.
Good for Polynesians. Good for BYU. I mean,
Yep.
so many positives. So many positives there. Hey, nothing worse than playing in front of 60,000 sober Mormons. Hey, not if Steve Sarkisian's at the game.
Yeah.
Well, Mercy, any closing thoughts, man?
No.
What? Oh, one more video. One more. But go ahead. Any thoughts on the game? But this one we gotta watch. We gotta watch this last one to close.
No, I'm excited for BYU, especially for Kalani Sitake. He's definitely got his team hyped up for every game. They seem to play as a unit, and they're just all in. And I feel like it seems like expectation is Big 12
High.
championship
Yeah.
and playoffs. So, and once you get to the playoff, it's just one game. Anything can happen.
One game at a time.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for BYU being 7-0. More excited for Kalani Sitake to do well, and it's good for all Polynesians. So hey, we should send that Kalani Sitake it doesn't have a high IQ to those Australian supporters that
Yeah.
because
No, see, and that's the thing. Yeah.
he's functioning a multi-million-dollar operation at BYU and preparing players for each week.
No, and that's the thing. Because as I responded, like, dude, there's so many Polynesians playing in the NRL, and the guy wrote back and said, "Yeah, see, but you're proving my point. So many of them, but none of them are playing in the halves." And I was like, "Siana, it's just because of exposure and time." And I gave him the example.
Yeah.
Look at Polynesians in football. When they first started, linemen, right?
Yeah.
That was it. And then look at it now. Look at how many Polynesian quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I told him, and then even in the NRL, it started just forwards. They've slowly worked into the backs. The natural progression is you're going to start seeing, look at Jerome Luai and those guys, right? Like these are top tier halves.
No, and I'm just thinking to just because Polynesians have been playing rugby a lot longer than American football. It's a big deal for Kalani to be a
Yeah.
head coach of a a top-notch program. And
D1.
it's only D1
Yeah.
and to in football operation, it is crazy. It makes like pads. You're managing all different kind of position coaches.
It's the biggest money maker for the university.
So that's why I'm like, dude, just the position that Polynesians have reached in the quarterback in the short amount of time, quarterback and also head coaching job, which is very difficult. It's pretty amazing. And remember, there hasn't been I don't think there's been. Has there ever been a NRL Tongan Polynesian descent head coach? No.
Not that I'm aware of.
And I feel like they've been playing. A lot more access to Polynesians in that sport, in my opinion, and the quantity. So hey, it's a big deal, man. There's IQ. It's just sometimes people disregard the. You have to be synchronized. You got to understand people's tendencies to do well. So
yeah, no, 100%. So this video right here is a video. Hopefully it shows it because I didn't vet it, but it's supposed to show the rocket being caught.
Okay. Oh, Elon Musk's rocket.
Elon Musk's. I almost did a Elon Smollett. I've been listening too much to Water Bears.
Spacecraft blasted off today, headed towards Jupiter's moon Europa. The SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket propelled NASA's Europa Clipper on a 5.5-year mission to explore Jupiter's moon to see if it can support life. Today's launch followed a spectacular SpaceX test flight Sunday, where the landing was more impressive than the blastoff. CBS's Mark Strassman has more.
With high drama and high risk, the world's largest, most powerful rocket did something extraordinary. Minutes after launching its uncrewed, super heavy Starship rocket, SpaceX returned its booster stage back to the launch pad in Boca Chica, Texas.
That's crazy.
Here's how.
Look at all the
by plucking it out of the sky using giant metal arms called chopsticks. The 5th test flight is part of SpaceX's race to develop reusable rocketry for interplanetary travel.
Reusability of spacecraft for future space exploration is extraordinarily important because reusability drives down the cost of space exploration.
Derek Pitts is the chief astronomer at the Franklin Institute.
What SpaceX plans to do in the future for this spacecraft capability, though, is to take astronauts out to Mars.
This mission, one of those moments when science fiction became science fact.
And this is underwhelming. Come on, that's pretty weak. We got to find one like that shows it, because when it shows it dropping like at the speed that it's coming in on, that's what makes it impressive. And the videos they showed were a little underwhelming. We got to watch like a real video. Let me see if I can find one that looks a little bit better. Yeah. See, this one shows it. It just shows the speed.
Every month, this Airbnb
the speed
pays
that
me
it's
about
coming in at. That's
$2,700
what's
in
crazy.
semi-passive income.
Is this kind of the whole thing? It launches off.
Yeah.
Separate.
Dude, NASA should just give it all its operations to Elon Musk to run.
Yeah, he's doing it. I think at a quarter of the cost right now that NASA can do a flight to space. So that's when it's starting to separate right there.
Mm.
Look at the speed this thing's coming in on. Even this video sucks. Someone just give me a good video of this thing.
How did you watch the other video?
It was just
Or
on
the video?
YouTube. Someone, I mean,
NASA
well,
space-
actually, it was Elon Musk shared it on SpaceX on X. Anyways, that was phenomenal. The one he showed, I mean, this thing is just like flying through the sky, right? Going at who knows how many miles per hour. And then as it's going at a high speed, all of a sudden the boosters turn on. Then it slowly slows down and even moves sideways for a little bit and then drops.
That is crazy.
You know, so maybe we need to take more risks, like the other guy said. Take more risks.
Hey, man.
But closing thoughts, Mr. Ateharoa.
No, I enjoyed our conversations today, Dua, at the, especially with the various topics we've talked about. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed our viewers' interaction. Malo. Appreciate you guys' support and views. We're working on some interviews and stuff with some other folks, and at the same time, just discuss contemporary current events and also Polynesian history. We enjoy it, and thank you, Dua, for the opportunity. Malo.
Masi, appreciate your time. Want to thank all the viewers and the listeners here. It's been a pretty interesting 2-3 weeks. We have a couple milestones on YouTube. We're just under 17,000 views for the last 3.5 weeks. That's like almost a 50% increase. Then that's been pretty awesome. We broke over 300,000 views on TikTok, and far exceeded the expectations anyone could have. We are working on some more interviews. We're also behind on a couple other of the series. We also know a lot of people are still asking Devita Fale. He's been traveling. We've been trying to work it out with his schedule, but hopefully in the not too distant future, he has put together the next program he would like to walk through. So it's just a matter of coordinating the schedule with his traveling. I know he's in Hawaii, then he's going to go to New Zealand, and then maybe Tonga.
Yes.
So we're trying to work out that schedule. You had something to say, Masi?
Yes, just some update with that. So Devita Fale will be in Utah next week sometime. So hopefully when he's in Utah with visiting some of his kids there, that
we can shoot
a episode. So he's going to be in Utah and then come to New Zealand from Hawaii. So
10-4. With that being said, as we always close, we say, you know what? Stay curious, ask bold questions, and let the truth take you wherever it will take you. And until next time, peace.
Peace.